Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. Today's show is all about episode 6. But before we get into the episode, we've got introductions to do. First of all, I'm Kritter XD. I have a TikTok. I'm Egwene Alvira on Twitter. I hope these are my channels. Hopefully you know me. Tavern, why don't you introduce yourself really quick?
I am Tavern,
Hello,
who
everyone,
had
and
my
welcome to the
YouTube playing so that you guys could hear it again, because that intro was spectacular. TikTok, I have Twitter, I design merch, and I have a YouTube that's baby fledgling. I haven't really done a whole lot on it, but I'm working on that. And that's me. Reading since, I don't know, 18 years or whatever, on my third reread. That's it.
That's it. Okay, before we let Winespring introduce herself, Jason Paget, thank you for the sub. Oh my gosh, starting the stream out like super, super exciting and strong. All right, Winespring, hit us with your deets.
Hey, that's me. I'm Winespring, winespringcafe.com. You're going to maybe see a promo video for that today. So you'll want to definitely check it out. It has all the recipes you'll ever want to eat that are curated around the world of the Wheel of Time. That's me, winespringcafe.com. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Okay, so today I am really excited to introduce our guest because she is a personal friend of mine. In all of our promos, we call her Non-Reader Erin, when in fact, Erin, can you confirm that you do read some things, you just haven't read The Wheel of Time?
Yes, I can confirm that.
Excellent. Okay. As I said, Erin has not read The Wheel of Time. She has, however, probably partially because of me, watched all the episodes of The Wheel of Time. But maybe that's not true. Erin, why did you decide to pick up The Wheel of Time, the show?
Well, initially I did it because you told me to.
Okay.
But then it's enjoyable. You know, I like fantasy. I loved Game of Thrones, was on except for the 8th season, which we won't discuss. So it was nice to have that back in my life.
Okay, beautiful. So, what do you like about The Wheel of Time specifically? Maybe that like distinguishes it from Game of Thrones, because we always have these like constant comparisons. So, do you have anything you prefer Wheel of Time over or over Game of Thrones with? Like,
I said this. I've said this when I watched the first episode. So there is a scene that opens at a pub in the very first, and that's when they come onto the town. And there's women in there, and they aren't prostitutes. That was nice.
Yeah.
And I like, it's just a different. So there was always that fantasy element in Game of Thrones was a little more hidden. You're not going to get a ton of the White Walkers in the first season. This is all about the fantasy. There's people doing magic the entire time, which is nice.
Yeah, I love magic. I read fantasy. Basically, that's about all I read. I read sci-fi and fantasy, and part of the reason I love fantasy is because of the magic. All right, so I guess Tavern wanted me to ask you this. How many people, and don't, if you know who the Dragon Reborn is, please do not reveal it. We try to avoid spoilers that haven't come up yet in the show, just so everyone knows in the chat and everything. We're avoiding book spoilers. We're only talking about what's happened in the show so far. So, Erin, have you decided who you think the Dragon Reborn is, and how many people have you gone through thinking like maybe it's this person, maybe it's that person, and like who's been in the running for you?
Okay, so the first episode I was pretty sure I knew who it was.
Okay.
And I think I'm back to thinking it's that original person. I don't know if I'm supposed to
Okay.
I won't.
Yeah, say the name. Say the name, because you don't know. Yeah,
you think it is, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the dragon. Reborn.
You said Rand, just to confirm. That's what you said. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I went through, but in this last episode, so there was one episode where I thought it was Egwene for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last episode, the long braid, I'm skipping her name. But she does.
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve, yes.
So I'm digging the long braid.
Yeah,
like
that's enough. That describes her perfectly.
So in episode 5, she's they make her the best channeler that's ever channeled. So it's like, oh no, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's her for a while. But now I'm back to
Now we're back to Rand. Okay, what makes you think it's Rand?
Because he seems to be kind of the last episode was Moiraine. I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Moiraine, but he still seems to be kind of like the lead character somehow. Like a lot seems to be revolving around him.
Okay.
So it may be that perhaps in the original series, because my understanding is that if you read the books, it's not a secret who the Dragon Reborn is.
It is not. It's not a secret.
There's just something they're doing for the series. So I get the feeling like maybe they're trying to write around what would be more of a central character in the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So in the books, without spoiling anything, there is a central character in the first book, but then as you read further, like into the later books, you get a lot of different POVs. Like a lot of the characters, like all the characters in season 1 of the show get a lot of their own POVs. And it ends up that, I want to say, and I can't confirm this, but the person who ends up being the dragon has less pages than some of the others. I think that's true. And so I'm not going to say again who it is, but everyone is really important in the show, whether they're the Dragon Reborn or not, which is part of the reason that I love that about it.
Yes.
So yeah, Jason Patchett is right. They are all central characters. And Nimi Thrill in the chat, never say a name to a Game of Thrones show fan. You know what? She, like the rest of us, didn't like season 8. So I think we can. I was an extreme Game of Thrones fan until then. And now I just regret all the time I spent on it, basically. but also, like, I've read all the books too, and we're waiting for, I don't even remember the name, Winds of Winter. No, is Winds of Winter the one that's not out yet? I can't even remember because it doesn't matter because it's never coming out.
No, he's
given up.
He's given up. I know. So, all right. So, Erin, that was all very exciting, very insightful. Winespring or Tavern, do you have any other like full season so far questions for Erin before we get started into episode 6?
Yeah. Who's your least favorite character?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Okay, I'm not great with the names yet.
Sure.
The
Descriptions are good.
blonde in red, the Aes Sedai, the red Aes Sedai.
Leandrin.
Not Leandrin.
Yeah.
Not Leandrin, right?
Everybody loves her.
Like just obviously supposed to be the evil antagonist of Moiraine.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We hate her, but we love to hate her. Okay, we've got
it. Every time she goes on screen, I'm like, okay, something awful is about to happen.
Yeah, but she's so good though, and her clothing is impeccable. It's amazing.
Oh, they don't have great clothes. I need to take a test to see what color Aes Sedai I am.
Oh, that would have been. I should have given you homework before the stream.
That would be fun.
All right,
Yes.
so I have a question from the chat that I actually feel like is a great question. More Shoddy asks, "What's your wildest, I assume, theory for the Wheel of Time show?" I assume that's what he's asking. Or do you have any theories yet? You, Erin. Yeah. Well, you're our non-reader.
You're their star.
Any theories? I don't have any real strange theories yet.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how all the characters. I'm curious to see how all the characters play now that we're going to like the Eye of the World. Now that we're getting into it, I'm curious to see like who survives. Doesn't make it so far. I was kind of. I won't say too much about the end because I know we're not there yet in the episode.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm wondering. But yeah, no, I don't have any real strange theories. I kind of wish they'd show you the time before. I kind of wish we got a flashback. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I think it will.
The time before. Yeah. I have a pretty good idea it's going to.
I think we're gonna get a few flashbacks. That's just my guess. Hopefully. Well, no, at least one we know pretty much given casting and stuff. We're gonna get somebody's backstory soon. But Taverns, go ahead.
I have the one question. What are your thoughts on what's happening with Perrin?
I am confused. So, okay, it's weird. They all have special powers. I'm confused as to why they all have special powers, because the men aren't supposed to channel at all. So, one just had a knife, and that made sense. But Perrin's obviously communicating with wolves. So if he's not the Dragon Reborn, he's not channeling, how is he communicating with wolves? I was also confused because, like, did he just activate that himself? Did Egwene, like, help him activate that? Like, how exactly
How would Egwene have done that, you think?
She's staring. She's starting to do something when the guy that wears the white, he's awful too. I don't like him. He's always like, why is he always
With you
in like every episode? That's
Yeah.
why is that?
He's amazing.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know why he's always eating.
yes, but so she's doing something, looking with her eyes, and all of a sudden she's trying to make something happen, and all of a sudden his eyes go yellow.
Interesting.
I didn't know if she was like helping him activate. They were feeding off each other, or if it was just him realizing the danger had come and now he had to.
That's so interesting. I
love that.
I really
Yeah.
like that a lot. All right, so
I've not heard that from anyone else. Yeah.
So you think all right, so because I know Tavern was wondering, and I don't think he said it straight out, but do you think that Perrin is a werewolf? Or is that not like what you're getting from him?
I don't think he's a werewolf.
Okay.
I guess I was thinking is they can basically, again, I'll go back to like Game of Thrones, like the dire wolves, like they can communicate and become them. So I figured it was kind of the same thing where you can,
like a
injure
warg.
an animal, kind of make them do what you want, but you weren't werewolf. Like you weren't gonna
Nice.
a full moon is gonna change. And
What were those guys called in GOT? Was it wargs?
It's wargs, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So okay,
good
so
job.
Game of
Interesting.
Thrones has taken what most people might, without reading the books, interpret as like werewolf vibes and expanded their minds. There's more possibilities than just werewolf, which I'm glad about because that is something I was thinking people might think.
Yeah.
So awesome. And all right, there was one other.
That's really good.
I guess okay. So since I know the answer to this question, let me ask: what was your favorite episode so far?
I liked 6. Okay, I liked the whole thing with Moiraine and Queen of the Aes Sedai, who I'm also going to forget her name. There's a lot of like Welsh Irish names, and I get them.
Swan.
Swan.
Queen of the Aes Sedai. I love it.
Queen of the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
Swan.
Perfect.
Yes. So like I liked their relationship and how they've got this whole background thing going. So the Aes Sedai have a plan. I like how they're finally getting together and they're going to the of the world, where I'm assuming that's where the action really starts to get going. So I was excited by that. So that's why episode 6 was my favorite.
Beautiful. Love it. I think for me, probably, and this is really hard actually, because episode 6 was so happy and exciting, but I also feel like episode 4 with Nynaeve's like explosion of power, I freaking loved that episode too. So it's like neck and neck between those two because they're so different. Like
Mayo Clinic explosion of healing.
yeah, like that was awesome. I loved that scene. So I think I had really, really strong emotional reactions to those 2 episodes the most, because for very different reasons. Because Soirain is the ship, Swan and Moiraine, the ship name that I don't think I invented, but I've been using a lot. And and I love that, and I was hoping for that because like it was sort of there in the books, but it was not fully there in the books, and I wanted it to be canon because there wasn't anything like explicit. There wasn't a ton of main character LGBTQ representation in the book series, and so seeing it in the show made my what did I say? My heart sing on my YouTube video. So that was really exciting. But then the like extreme, like draining, like Nynaeve having this massive, like heartbreaking ball of healing explosion thing, like that was also incredible to witness and just like gave me full body goosebumps. And like, so both of those scenes were the best scenes for me. Would you guys agree? Like, do you, I guess Winespring, what's your favorite so far? What's your favorite episode?
It's really hard for me to choose between 4 and 5. I think 4, at the ending I felt so empowered, and 5 at the ending I felt, moved to action. So those are really good things to have, after watching an episode of TV. So
For sure.
I'm going to go with those 2 as my favorite, I guess.
Fair enough. Tavern, what about you?
The one that's moved me the most really was 5.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, if evoking emotion is the one that gets your vote, that would be it.
Yeah, no, I get that. That was really powerful. Really, really powerful. Well, yeah, Sunlover, in New Spring, it was very clear what was going on, But in a lot of the Wheel of Time, it was like, these are pillow friends, and, you know, lots of novices are pillow friends, and then they grow out of it. That was sort of the implication, and I don't know if that was the intent, but that was kind of the vibe. And so the fact that it's like, they didn't grow out of it, by God, they're living it. They're living the dream. That's what I wanted to see. So, like, you're right, Sunlover. They kissed, they slept in the same bed, like, it was explicit news, sir. I guess spoilers for New Spring, but shit. Sorry about that. My bad. But it's just the fact that it's still there and they're adults and they're still in love and it's obvious. I love that personally. Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's like halfway through the episode. We haven't even there was one other thing I wanted to ask Erin, because people keep calling me a shill for Amazon and I'm not into it. But I wanted to ask her what maybe her like least favorite thing, or like if she had any complaints about so far the first 6 episodes of the series. Just, you know, because in the interest of neutrality, because I know I'm very positive because I really like the show and I'm really excited my favorite book series is being made into a show. But I think we should maybe get this sort of feedback from people who haven't read the book. So, Erin.
I wish there were you got to see more moral ambiguity with the characters. Right now, they're your all evil characters and they're your all good characters. Except for the guy with the evil sword. He seemed a bit in the middle. But I wish that
Yeah, good. Yeah, I totally agree.
True.
See?
Yeah.
But I wish you saw more characters that had a little bit of both. That made some bad decisions, some wrong decisions. But also came back and made some good decisions, and you understood what was driving each of those characters to do those things.
That makes sense. So I guess from your perspective then, was Perrin's debacle in episode 1 like not like a moral thing because it was an accident?
Yeah, that doesn't count. That's if it's an accident, then it doesn't.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree. He's all, and I get why he's being all beat up about it, but at the same time, like, bro, it was an accident. Like, chill out.
No, I mean, he needs to be beat up about it. He did kill someone, but
yeah, fair. Probably more in your wife being dead.
Fair. No, you're right.
He didn't get time.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't save it.
Time to mourn.
He doesn't have much time.
Okay. So
I killed my wife. Oh, we gotta go.
So we need more moral ambiguity. I like that actually, and I think maybe like hearing that from a non-book reader will hopefully, I don't know, inspire some people who don't like what's going on with Matt feel a little better about it, because he does seem a little more morally ambiguous than he was in the books, I would argue. So who knows?
Matt, get out of here.
I mean, in the show, like, just a little bit. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. We're a little. We took a while. Thank you, Erin, for all of your thoughts on the series as a whole. But now we're going to talk about episode 6. The Flame of Tar-Valon. Okay, let me pull up a photo, shall we? Oh, look, and it worked. Everything's formatted properly. That was a risk that I was taking with that. Okay, so the cold open. We saw Baby Swan. I love Baby Swan. She's such a hard ass.
Cusses. I love it.
I guess let's start with Erin. Were you confused? Like, who is this? Like, what's going on here?
I was very confused. It took me almost the full episode to figure out what was going on with that cold open.
Okay.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Okay.
I missed something, and like from when they switched to that over the regular episode. So I had to rewatch it to figure out what that was at the beginning and who that was.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've only heard about Swan. You've never seen her. They've never shown her.
No.
They went to a cold open with her as a child. I can see where no one would, if you haven't read the books, you have no clue who that is.
Yeah,
completely.
No, the time shift. I was like, oh, who's this random little girl? But no, I liked how they did that in the end. I liked how they gave you that little flashback.
Yeah. I think for me, it was really nice to see. I feel like the cold open did a lot at once, right? First of all, you got introduced to Swan, which was great, and how like feisty she is, like talking about getting the fish before the other bastards do, loved that. But then you also got a glimpse into what it's like to live in certain countries in this world, right? Like Winespring. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you want to speak to that?
What did you ask me?
I asked you if you wanted to speak to the culture that Siuan was born into.
It keeps breaking up over here, so
Oh, I'm
sorry about that,
No,
as
you're
I
fine.
always try to keep up with everybody.
You're totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're talking about the culture of Siuan. I don't have too much to say, actually,
Okay.
on that.
That's fine. I'll take
Yeah.
it. I'll take it.
I mean, I'm thinking, I mean, if we're looking at how she's being, judged for
Yeah.
being, a female that can channel, and we see what they, the destruction that judgment brings to her home with her father. We see the dragon fang, everything all burnt down. So that's kind of my only understanding of that culture. I guess
this is the takeaway. It seems to be that in this region tier, they have a massive prejudice against channelers. So if you look at them compared to, for example, the Two Rivers, where Moiraine rolls in and nobody burns her at the stake, they just kind of they give her extreme respect. Like Aes Sedai, I can get whatever you want. Whereas this girl starts showing signs that she can channel, and all of a sudden they burn her house down and she has to leave. It's like it just gives you, to me, it was like great world building. Tavern, did you have anything to add to that?
First off, it was the first time we've actually seen the dragon fang.
Yeah, isn't it?
I think
straight out, not the hidden ones that keep popping up in different scenes. This was a flat out spray. Well, it wasn't spray paint, but it looked like it was spray paint. Anyways, painted dragon fang graffitied on somebody's charred house. Two, we got to see. Oh, I don't know. Oh, there she is. We got to see a wilder at her best with Siuan, right? As a child, we saw her doing her weaves, and she taught herself all of that. That was kind of cool. Yeah, we saw this glimpse into where she came from. It was just her and her father, and then even then, her dad has to send her away. Because of where they live. It's very touching, very interesting cold open.
So, Erin, did you pick that up? What the things we just said? Was that obvious to you?
Because you think so. You throw into this world in which women have this power that men don't have. So first of all, you think everyone wants their daughter to grow up and become an Aes Sedai, even though they leave and don't get married and go live in this castle far away. But that apparently isn't true. So I'm curious as to whether there's still a power dynamic thing going on where it's because they're women and they're channeling that in certain areas it's not okay thing to do, or is it a general fear of power, or do they hate the Aes Sedai, or what specifically is leading to this contempt?
Nice.
So those are all very good questions.
Yeah,
great questions.
I could see that, especially given Leandrin's comment either the last episode or the episode before, where it's like, even if we have this immense power, there are still men who will, I'm not sure, like try to persecute. I can't remember exactly the wording, but girls who show that they could be more powerful than the men are. So it does. That's been set up, at least by the Red Aja, which their perspective on men is obviously clouded. But something's going on with Siuan here in this completely different region, and that's a good question. Is it because she's a girl? Is it because she could channel? Or something else? So we've got some debate going on in the chat that I feel like we need to address. Is what kind of a region is tier? Some thought it was like ocean. Clearly, it appears to be more marshy, whatever. Honestly, I guess I got the impression that it was more coastal.
Coastal.
Yeah, coastal.
It's coastal. Yeah, it's coastal. Like the city itself is on the coast, but on the outskirts, it's very marshy with a lot of different rivers and rivulets and creeks and stuff like that.
Yeah, which I think they captured here.
Very well.
Yeah. So we've got, let's see, I have more photos here. We've got her tattoos, right? Which is really cool. Another neat little piece of check out this new region. Tavern, did you I know you mentioned that somebody said that this is reminiscent of actual tattoos in the real world.
Yeah, so there's two things. One, the tattoos are very similar. If you do a Google search for Fiji women tattoos, the easiest way to explain it, because I can't pronounce the word. Hold on, I actually have it up on a different thing. They're called Veikia, Eiqia, traditional, and it's tattoos in certain parts of that region of the world that are given to girls as soon as they hit puberty by women elders, and it represents a bunch of different things, but the style is very similar, which is kind of cool. So far, I've seen that everything that's been brought into the Wheel of Time show, there's a reflection of in the real world,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. The second thing about the tattoos, right in the middle, you have that little like a little person with the arms out,
Mm-hmm.
a thing at the top. Her dad has the exact same thing, except above that that diamond with the dot in it for the head. You see where it becomes a V and a little dot. His are closed off, and it continues in little diamonds with dots, like 4 up, and then it goes into a bigger semblance of a person. And I'm not sure. I know that the Wheel of Time said that there was meaning to these tattoos, so I'm not sure if it's a family thing, like he had 4 children, or something similar. But I just thought it was cool that her tattoo is basically a smaller version of his. It's like, you see what I'm saying, like a family name or something. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was cool that they reflected each other.
Is that be accurate? If like in Fiji, would you do that? Would you have a family tattoo, or would it be similar?
Some cultures, that's an interesting. I'm not really sure. You could see that being a way of identifying things in certain cultures, right? I'm from this river, this area, have ex brothers or children or whatnot. So yeah, it's a possibility.
I've also heard that this, and somebody physically, I think, said it in the chat, that it might be based on Maori culture. And actually, if it does have something to do with their like children or whatever, that could be sort of related to the dagger, the marriage knife in I can't think of the region, but they had gems based on. Abudar, thank you. They had gems based on their kids and whatever. So I don't know. It's something cool. And yeah, I just wanted to throw up a picture of the dragon fang because we were talking about it, and I totally didn't pull up a picture of it. But there it is. Very cool.
Good.
The first one that we
So
have.
the tattoo talk, like, it definitely makes me think about later. Siuan is like, she has her tattoos,
more,
yeah, she has more, and it's been like she acknowledges it's been 2 years, since Moiraine has seen her arm. So maybe there's something to do with aging also. Choices, decision, things that happen.
Maybe a story
they add them in for.
Very well
from like in Moana, where what's his face? What the hell's his name?
Maui,
yeah, that guy. Where his tattoos all tell stories of things that he's done or whatever. So it's a possibility that has something to do with it, because I think that was based on real cultural things as well.
it is pretty neat. Obviously, it was sad though. What ended up happening? She had to leave her dad. So yeah, Krager's saying there are cultures that tattoo themselves over their lives. So yeah, that's wait, Fizzlegwig says she tells her it's a story of Moiraine being missing. Was that in the extras? That didn't happen in the episode. I haven't watched all the extras yet, so
I haven't seen the extras either.
So I don't know. All right, so I think
check it out.
I think we hit the cold open pretty well. Loved it. It was cute, sad. Let's see. So then we've got the Swan as an adult. We come in and she just hands the Aes Sedai, and look, wow, I keep zooming and unzooming, and it's keep having to fix the photo, but it's fine, you guys. I'm a professional.
You got this.
So yeah, we've got what did somebody say on Twitter today? The the 3 like hamsters or whatever, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. We've got Alvin, Simon, and Theodore over here in front of Swan. And hey, Sith Master, thank you for joining.
That's so funny.
And go ahead, speak to it.
I'm going to be a typical guy right now and say now I know why Alana had chains across her outfit, because I was distracted throughout this entire scene.
Why?
Know that.
I see. Well, that's Can we talk about the wardrobe? Putts about fashion, but damn, I was impressed. Nimhithil, I agree. I think people keep saying these outfits are too clean, which they can literally channel. Do you think they'd let themselves get grimy? First of all, absolutely not. Second of all, they're just all so cut perfectly. I don't know, and I feel like they all are sort of representative of their ajas too, or their upbringing, and obviously some of this comes from the books. But like Leandrin, for example, red aja, she's completely covered neck to toe, which to me is like, you know, she's definitely not looking for the male gaze. She the opposite, in fact, like she's in it for herself and maybe her, you know, sisters, who knows. And then Moiraine, which you don't know this necessarily from the show, but she's from a very, I don't want to call it uptight, but strict, like the clothing in Karian. I'm so bad at pronouncing that, but the clothing where she's from it's usually high necks. It's like long skirts, whatever. And that's reflected here, except for her freaking awesome shoulder pads, which wasn't in the books, but I love them. And then Alana, the green, is, I mean, she looks amazing, but she's, you know, doing a little more flaunting, which is great. Power to her, you know, you love to see it. But
Where
she's
was Alana from?
I'm not sure actually.
Anybody know in the chat where Alana was from?
Yeah.
I can't remember that actually.
So, just so you commented on Maureen's shoulders. In one of the behind the scenes, Carrion. Anyways, I'm not even gonna try. The influences there are French and Chinese, which is where that came from. That whole outfit. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay.
I love the clothes. And I guess while we're talking about the clothes, last week's Inside the Wheel of Time, the thing that I'm on Prime Video's YouTube, they Matt from the Dusty Wheel got to interview a costume designer, which was a fascinating conversation. So if you haven't watched that, you should. So all of that leads me to wondering, Erin, do you like the costumes in this show? Do you think they're too clean or colorful or whatever? A lot of people have said a lot of things about these costumes, but what do you think?
I don't think they're too clean because this isn't really, so you're thinking back to like grungy Middle Ages. This isn't that. This is, we don't know what time this is. Okay. These people are magic. They can do whatever they want to their wardrobe.
Right.
Is it, part of me wishes they change every once in a while. Like, do they only have one outfit? Because, or do they just have multiples of the same outfit? Because
actually, they answered that in one of those interviews.
Okay. All right. Well, Moiraine's always wearing the same. They look exactly the same. But I do like it, and I like what you're saying about how it shows where they're from or what their attitudes might be. I wish we got to see. So apparently, the red, blue, and green Aes Sedai are like the important Aes Sedai because you see the others standing back there, but like I feel like we're never gonna really hang out with.
So interesting, huh? Okay.
I have a theory that I might be one of those other colors. So I wish we got to talk about that.
Oh, I think you might be. Actually.
What do you think you are, though? What do you think you are?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the brown Aes Sedai read a lot, and I do read a lot and get kind of into like knowledge and trivia and things like that. So I might be one of those.
Okay.
I can be a little outgoing. There was one that was slightly more outgoing. It wasn't the green.
The gray.
I can't remember what it was.
Probably the gray. They're the diplomats. They help like broker treaties, and they're usually like the voice
Mediators.
behind the throne. They like advise thrones and stuff.
Yeah, I could be I could be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I didn't really see. I'm not a natural, justice person. So probably not blue. Green. The green seemed like they're Gryffindor or something from the description in the houses. It seemed like they were the adventurous battle ones.
Okay.
That's fair.
Anyway,
yeah.
I like what they're wearing. I like that they're kind of, it's like female with some militaristic tendencies or some different things going on, which I enjoy. They've got like this reminds me of their armor or lapels they would wear if you were
It does look like armor. You're right. It's like literally
Totally does.
shoulder pad armor, and like Alana, she does change. I feel like their out in the world outfits are different than their formal, Hall of the Tower outfits. So
Yeah.
we have gotten different outfits from them, but obviously they're in extremely different contexts. Alana had like chains or whatever on her bodice, and it was like almost as if it was like a chest piece to protect her. It was ornamental, but it did look sort of like it was supposed to protect her. So
She had bracers on too, yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of like neat like elements to these outfits that I'm like, they're all so detailed, and I love them. So
Same styles though. Like even looking at Moiraine here and Leandrin and Alana, even though they're in formal attire, their attire still looks like they're out in the world, their battle or their traveling attire. It still has the same cut, the same feel to it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it definitely does. And also, like, I'm pulling up Lyanna.
Somebody clipped Erin.
Clips Erin, I'm not a justice person. They really appreciated that comment.
I like justice. I feel like it's very.
That's amazing.
Gotcha.
Yes, epaulets.
That's just gonna play.
So there's not much to say about Lyanna other than she's not out in the world that often. She's the keeper of the chronicles. You don't know that. You just know that she holds a staff and bangs it whenever things get out of order. But yeah, she doesn't have any like armor elements on her, but she doesn't need to because she literally sits at a desk all day. No offense, Lyanna. We all love you. But I think she looks pretty fabulous. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe that's just me.
I do love it. I just wonder if off the shoulder all day was what you would choose if you had all the choices.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Off the shoulder all day.
It's an excellent point. It's an excellent point. All right, so we have Logain. This first segment here.
Ooh.
I feel like there's not as many. This isn't as structured of a stream because everything is about Moiraine this episode. Like we were following Moiraine start to finish, which is a cool thing. It's different than the others.
Awesome.
But we've got Siuan throwing down the hammer on Logain, which was pretty brutal. At first I thought like, wow, he's got a spark left in him. Oh. My cat just fell off my desk. It's fine. He's got the spark left in him, he's like kind of goading her and like telling her that she's not as powerful as she thinks she is, clearly like I thought that was like, wow, he's still got something. And then I realized like, no, he just wants her to kill him. Like that, because being gentled is a fate worse than death for men. So I don't know. I thought Alvaro Morte, this actor, did an incredible job in this scene. Tavern, did you have any takeaways from it?
Yeah, I mean, when he made that comment about I staked that green bitch to the wall, say that in a room full of Aes Sedai, there was nothing else crossed my mind other than, he wants them to kill him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like seriously, because at that point you're just you're begging to be killed, and he literally begged shortly thereafter. One thing I want to note, when he said and somebody else mentioned this, and I had to think about it, and I was like, holy crap, you're right. When he said I staked that the green Aes Sedai to the wall, I had to actually go back because somebody mentioned it. I can't remember the name on Twitter, but Steppen. No one else noticed this. Steppen literally stabbed himself in the exact same spot that Alana got staked to the wall.
Karini? Not Alana.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Karini. So he died exactly like she died.
That's something I did not notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at first either, but when they mentioned it, I was like, holy, let me go back, and I was like, holy shit, no shit. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Logain, a good final play to get out of it, but Siuan dropped the hammer on him. Said nope.
Yeah, Krager, you're not wrong. Logain does have the cojones. Let's put it that way. But you know who it didn't affect? My girl Siuan. Man, she was amazing. Like, can we just talk about how good adult Siuan, Sophie Okonedo, was this entire episode? And obviously, this was her entrance. This was our introduction to her was this scene where she first laid the hammer down on Logain and then just kind of pivoted and took down Leandrin and Moiraine. Like, it was a sight to behold. Winespring, like, talk about it. How did you feel?
Yeah. I love this whole moment with her where she's just letting Logain just goad at her and poke at her. And she just doesn't show any fluster, no bluster, no nothing. She's just not even concerned. He's so not a threat
Yep.
that his words just like melt off of her. And I kind of disagree with you when you said that gentling is like fate worse than death. I think she gives Logain a fate worse than death when she says that he's going to be studied and followed for the rest of his days. Like, he's not even going to get rest, you know, after being gentled. Like, he's going to be poked and prodded and studied. And that sounds like a fate like worse than death for someone like him.
That's fair. You're right. I take it back.
Like,
You're right. He
She
thought
beat the crap out of him.
it's true. He thought he had a fate worse than death and gentling, and she was like, and she made it worse.
I'm going to torture you forever.
Yeah, no kidding. Erin, did you get that impression? Like that he was kind of trying to get her to kill him, or did you think like, oh
Yeah.
no, he's just like, you know, being mean?
He did. So at first I thought he was being mean, and then it quickly dawned on me, no, he's trying to die.
Mhm.
Which, honestly, I'm a little bit... So the only clue we have into it being a fate worse than death is the episode before, when the guy that Matt and Rand are traveling with is explaining that it's a fate worse than death. So I wish... it seems like a little bit of a trope that they're getting into there.
Okay.
But that said, I did understand what was going to happen. I did love the way she handled it. And I loved her character throughout this episode, and her outfit is my favorite.
I was gonna say, we were just talking about clothes, and look at those clothes. Like, whoa. They're like curtains.
Yeah, I remember just thinking like pomp and circumstance when she entered. Like, it was a statement with that whole garb.
So I guess
It gives me a whole Pope feel.
it really does.
Yeah, it's like a whole,
So I guess something from
Cool.
the books that they have changed, which I appreciate, is, and I know some people do not appreciate this, is the Aes Sedai had ceremonial shawls that they would wear, like just shawls. You know, like I picture it however you would normally picture a shawl, and then it had like a flame of Tarvalin on the back of it, which is like this ancient symbol, the symbol of the Aes Sedai, the half of a yin yang that's white, and the shawls
Get you an
would
image of
be.
that.
The shawls would be their Aja color. You know, so like blue for the blues. And that was how, in like a formal setting, they would kind of distinguish between themselves. Because, again, in the books, the rings that they wore weren't giant gaudy rings. They were just a subtle, like... excuse me. They're not gaudy. I didn't say that. They're just like they're just the Ouroboros. They're a serpent biting their tail, just a flat gold ring, and that's it. So you couldn't tell an Aja by the ring. So do you like these more modern clothes? And also the Amerlin swan had a 7-striped stole. So I guess that's not a shawl, it's a stole. But it was basically just like in my mind, a rainbow stole that she wore like over her shoulders. Do you think you prefer this imagery or what I just described? Do you think that would be better?
Me?
Yes, Erin.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
This is you have to do this from a perspective because it's very clean. It's very clear who's in charge. She's in the white. She's good. She's up front, and then you've got all your factions in the back. It's very clear who's who. And then from a perspective in an all-white room, you have a rainbow of color behind you. That's going to stick out way more than all white in the back. So yes, I think they had to do it this way. And then it makes it very obvious who's who in the front too. I mean, it's kind of obvious anyway. They're all different heights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you've got your blue, your red, and your green.
I guess for me, also, like, the idea of shawls just seems so old-fashioned, you know? Like, and sort of grandma-ish. And so I wouldn't like Rosamund Pike, you know, like, Finder of the Dragon wearing, like, this, you know, granny. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just didn't love the idea. Winespring, do you agree?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I completely respect and appreciate the updated look, for sure. Yeah.
100%. Glad we agree.
Yeah.
Wayne, if you want to show it,
definitely.
I put a picture, or Kritter, I put a picture in the folder.
Of the
But
shawl.
Aes Sedai type shawl, yeah.
Okay, I'll refresh. Let's see what we get. An Aes Sedai type shawl.
I miss it. It's
Here's
green.
It's green. Okay. Not seeing it. This is fine. Oh, here. Wait. Oh,
This
here we
is
go. I
fine.
found it. Okay. Let's see. So we have. I mean, she's not wearing it. Like.
It's not. She's not wearing it, but it's something like this. And
Yeah.
they would drape it over their shoulders with the symbol hanging down the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a huge fan of that. I mean, it's like
Nope.
it's. I like the Tavern. I think this is great. I think this is something you sell, right?
It is, but I mean, it's just a visual reference since you were talking about it. It doesn't,
No, I mean, like I'm not saying like I don't like this. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
I think this is pretty, but as far as the show goes, I like.
Oh,
the
I
updated
agree.
look, 100%.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's
for the
extremely
show.
old fashioned. Yeah. Completely agree.
All right, so we gotta keep moving, guys. We gotta keep moving. So we're like on the same scene still. All right,
It's fun.
it is fun. All right. We have. I guess here's a better look at the ring too. That isn't gaudy. Never said that. But
It
so
isn't gaudy.
Siuan essentially tells Moiraine to put her nose to the floor.
This whole scene.
This whole scene, I guess, like, she really scolds them. I feel like Leandrin almost got a pass. You know, she was like, you know the rules, blah blah blah, like. But then Leandrin throws Moiraine under the bus, and Siuan just rips into her, And so, I guess my question for someone who hasn't read the books, Erin, since you hadn't yet seen Siuan in action, did you get the impression that Siuan did not like Moiraine?
No, I was confused as to why because she's obviously very even keel. And she makes the decision when she's being goaded. She, sends him away instead of killing him. So obviously, and then there's gigantic overreaction all of a sudden. I was confused.
Nice.
And I was like, why is this happening? This has got to be. I had a clue that there was something behind the scenes just because it seemed aimed at the women in red. See, I'm on your side. I'm doing what you want. And then so I figured something would happen, and then it did, but it was better than I thought it would be. So yeah, so I was confused by her overreaction, and then liked when it paid off.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess it was kind of like overacting. Like,
She went over the top.
But I guess like before this happened, like last episode, Alana said like you have two enemies in the tower. We all assumed one of them was Siuan, or that she was referring to Siuan, and so maybe that's what they expected. Maybe they expect Siuan to hate Moiraine specifically for some reason, and then this was just par for the course. I don't know.
Well, even Steppen said it in the episodes before that, where he was like, we heard the amulet almost called you back to the tower. They started setting that up from there, that Siuan did not like Moiraine.
Yeah.
It's been building
Yeah,
up.
they've kind of worked hard, like, to make that a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have.
I guess it seemed transparent what was happening with.
Yeah, I'm not saying they did it well. I'm just saying
That's what they did.
Setting it up.
I'm forgetting the one in red. Give me the one in red's name again. I will learn all their names.
Leandrin.
Leandrin. Okay. So Leandrin, she seems transparently she hates Moiraine. So I was like, why are we all jumping on this bandwagon of hating Moiraine?
Yeah.
Really quickly. But no, it was probably just because of my earlier of how Leandrin was doing, and I was like, why are we all quick to join in of the kicking of Moiraine? But
The kicking of Moiraine.
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
I actually think the acting was actually very good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Those two together is
Yeah.
just whew.
When Moiraine goes to the ground, I mean, she just looks like a ballerina. The way that she moves just flows down to the ground before her lover. It was pretty epic.
Would like to point out that the same movement that she did, because when you say she flowed down, the first thing she did was she threw her arms back, looked up, and then bowed, which was the same movement that all of the Aes Sedai did when they linked. They gave themselves up to the other person to use. So I'm just pointing out it was the same body movement, same body language.
That's interesting.
That is.
That was a cool scene. And the first thing I thought of when she was like, you will put your face and your lips touch the floor, being it sounded like instructions. Right? Not that she was commanding her to do it, but she was basically saying, you got to do this to make it look good.
Yeah.
Right? It was like a low key, hey, this is what you have to do right now to get out of this so that we can move on.
Yeah. I think because we've been on this scene for a long time, I just want to admire this room. I think the Hall of the Tower looks really cool.
Oh man.
You could see the Aja colors, which somehow I just now for the first time noticed in the floor right behind Moiraine, Siuan, and Alanna. Very cool. And it's all and the like weave patterns, you know what I mean? Like it's all very symbolic. Am I right? Like
that's so cool.
The symbolism is just there. And I assume some of this is green screen, but like to the extent it's like a set, that's awesome. I'm a fan.
One thing I want to look back at, because I know they pan up through the center of it, going up. Need to count how many levels, because if there's 7 levels,
7.
There are. Did you count them?
Yes. There's 7.
The symbolism. Perfection. There's so much. It's amazing.
Thank you. I was gonna go back and look. I don't have to now.
All right. So, I guess
whoever created that is really. It's very pleased right now with you guys. They're like, yes, that took hours. So thank you
for noticing. I think by now they've come to expect, like, the costume designers, the set designers, they're all expecting everyone on Twitter of time to break apart every single thing that they do.
Everything.
Everything. Which I'm happy to.
We do. Yeah.
It's true. I do it all the time.
We love it. Thank you.
So, little Red Aja posse over here I pulled up. We had a little post-meeting between Liandrin and Moiraine, which was...
They look so tough, you guys. Can we just admire them for a minute? I would not want to meet them, at a battle.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now,
they look awesome.
when I saw this scene, the first thing that came to mind were the 3 women from, what was that movie with Don't Try to Make Fetch Happen?
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Sith Master in the chat just said that. Mean Girls gonna Mean Girl.
Mean Girls. It was Mean Girls against it was funny to me, but yeah. That's the vibe I got.
That's funny.
God, Moiraine, you're so stupid. Sorry, I have to stop.
Andrin, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, honestly,
that's it.
I feel like the tension between Liandrin and Moiraine is just like it keeps escalating. They just hate each other, which I love. I love seeing it. I feel like Kate Fleetwood is so good as Liandrin, even though I hate her.
Oh yeah. Did you see Alana's face throughout the whole thing with her persimmon? She was like. Back and forth.
She said we all be in that room.
It's so good.
Honestly. Yeah, somebody in the chat said, did we talk about how easy Liandrin derailed that meeting? Yeah, I said, like, literally, it felt like she just got a pass, and I feel like Siuan latched onto that because it was her way of showing she wasn't, she still hated Moiraine.
Stop trying to make
well, and Alana supported Liandrin, too, which is a little surprising. Kind of helped direct it, a certain way.
Yeah. Alana.
Bless her heart, Alana, the snack queen.
What's going on with her?
I think
Simmons are in season. That's what's wrong.
I think she's just shrewd, and maybe she senses there's a power dynamic in the tower, and that things could change, and so she doesn't want to be on anybody's bad side. Like maybe she's a people pleaser. I don't know. I can't tell because she does seem like she's friends with Moiraine, but she also seems like she wants to skirt any sort of feud with Liandrin, which is politically savvy and smart.
Yeah.
And if she legitimately believed like he was going to kill us all if we didn't gentle him, then she would have to say it because of the oaths. So I don't know. Erin, what kind of vibe are you getting from Alana?
Alana, I do get the vibe that she's just supposed to be friends with Moiraine, but she's also not getting that close, not picking sides. She's, her fun going out party buddy. She's not your party. She's not the. She's not the one that's is gonna go down with you in a flame of glory.
That's fair.
She's kind of
battle-ages. She's trying to see which side's got the upper hand, and she's going to pick that side.
That's kind of
Mhm.
what it seems like. Yeah,
Interesting.
that she's
Interesting.
she's towing the line because she's not sure which side
Hmm.
things are gonna end up on. So I mean, good for her, I guess. I don't know. Like, I like her. She's likable. She's so and the fact that she keeps eating snacks everywhere, and her warder like
Yes.
slips her a snack right after the meeting. Hilarious, but still, like, why you gotta not back up Moiraine, Alana? That just made me a little mad.
Mhm.
That's all. That's all. Don't mind me. I literally had this whole segment. Oh, go ahead, Erin. Did you say something?
Oh, but I do. She is likable.
Oh,
She
just wait a
remains
second.
likable.
There she is.
She is.
Very likable.
She's
Yeah.
extremely, yeah.
Mhm.
I went on this rant on my when I was filming my YouTube video about Alana and how it's like, what is she up to? And I was like, no one wants to hear me speculate about Alana. It was like a 4-minute segment in a video that was gonna be like 20 minutes long, so I had to cut it. But she's complicated. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
all right,
super.
So we get to the Light's blessing. We're gonna move on from the meeting because it's been a bit.
Yes.
And we get to see, and I'm just going to throw this up just for a second. We saw Basil Gill, who is a book character. Everyone was wondering where he was. He's the innkeeper. Very exciting. That's all. We don't have to really talk about him. And then our little baby Rand. He tries to defend Matt. And I thought this was really cute. I don't know. People keep saying that Rand's not doing anything, but I feel like if Rand's doing anything, he's being an amazing friend. He's the best friend a guy could ask for. Yeah, bless his heart. He tries. So, Winespring, what was your reaction from the scene and Rand trying to hold off a full warder and Aes Sedai with a sword?
I was a little surprised to see him pull a sword on them. I mean, not just because, Aes Sedai warder. I was still just kind of surprised to see him act that way. So that's kind of interesting. I was, however, not surprised to see Lan not pull his sword and respond by just restraining. That was not surprising at all.
That's funny. I didn't actually think about it that way, but yeah, he was literally like, I'm not even, like, you're not worth my sword.
Yeah. Just like, sit down, little boy.
That's the truth.
And I'll be honest, I'm not surprised that he pulled his sword because he pulled one on Loyal and I mean,
yeah, but you could.
He's getting quick. You're right. He's getting quick at pulling out his sword.
I'm just saying. But stupid call on his part, whipping it out on land there. That was.
Yeah. He's again, bless his heart, he tries. That's what Matt said, right?
Does.
So this was cute, Erin. So did this scene help you in your it's probably Rand assessment?
Yeah, it does seem like, I mean, he's the guy he is going to be the guy who's going to try to kill someone for his friends. Who is going to
interesting. Okay.
a righteous guy so far. So I mean, so I do think it was, I did think it was him. I don't know if that scene made me think more or less him, but again, I mean, it's his friend. He's defending Matt. And Egwene's off with Perrin. It just seems like he's kind of this hub of this particular circle. I like how they're, I liked how they handled it. They're still kids, that don't understand what's going on yet. Don't want to trust these people, and Moiraine and is trying to get them earn their trust still. So I did like the scene, and I do think Rand is going to grow into some of these powers. Though
Interesting.
we don't really see him use them yet.
Right.
Rand uses where Perrin's got his, Matt's over there being black stuff at the mouth, but he hasn't done anything.
Okay.
So over there being mad.
So nothing that Rand has done has pinged you as like, oh, that was probably magic.
Nothing. I can't think of anything that I've like. Oh yes, that was.
What about the door?
Oh,
When he knocks like the iron door down.
The door was magic. Yeah.
You think that was magic, not just like big man strength?
No, I thought the door was magic because he's pretty skinny.
Aww.
But his is less obvious than they've given anyone else so far. The 5.
Fair enough.
By a mission, you think it's him?
I do think it's him. He just seems like they're building him up. He just seems like the main character in the first episode.
Fair enough. So
Hey, all
Moiraine
right.
finds the dagger. Her Matt pulls the dagger on Moiraine, and she's like, "You dumbass!" Like I can't remember
Yep.
exactly what she said, but that was basically the look on
It
her
was
face.
that. It was that.
Basically,
Literally,
yeah, you're an
It's
idiot.
definite.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
Moron.
Literally, and then this whole imagery, like I don't know what it is about the mouths, but things keep happening with people's mouths. Things keep coming out of people's mouths. First, we've got the power going in, and Matt looking like a complete psychopath, right?
Mhm.
And then
Oh man,
and then
what a
this
great
Good shot.
trigger warning. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of horrific, but I guess since we
God.
saw the taint / corruption all up in Matt's mouth several times, this is like, well, yeah, why wouldn't it come out of his mouth? You know what I mean? Like, and then Rand.
And like
Oh, go ahead.
right before this scene is when like Lan and Rand are having this moment where Rand is like bowing up, and then Lan just like dismisses him and runs over to
Yeah.
help Matt. And Rand just joins. So it's just like, all right, now we're working together again.
He just
Right.
kind of like, you're not important. I gotta deal with this.
And the look on his
Yeah.
face, he's literally like Rand in this scene, because
He's so good.
obviously it was hard to pay attention to Rand because there was a like giant like thing of gross coming out of Matt's mouth, and then you'll see goes into Moraine's mouth, which is another thing we didn't necessarily want to see, but we saw. But it's cool. I mean, it looks really cool. In my opinion, this is a neat shot.
I have a question about that shot. When
Bring it
you're
on.
done.
Yeah, what's up?
So she closed her mouth,
Mm.
right? So that the corruption loogie, that's what I'm calling it. The corruption loogie does not go into her mouth. Does it not like nostrils? There's 2 other openings right above her mouth that it could have gone into.
Hey,
It did
there's some
not.
symbology for you right there. Or symbolism. right there.
I mean, it's just trying to get in the body. Does it have to be through the mouth? I'm just confused.
What do you mean by that,
From a
Winespring?
realistic standpoint, I think you're
Thank
right.
you, Kritter.
Yeah, Winespring, what's up?
I was
Yeah, what's
thinking
the
about,
symbology?
symbology. What is there's a saying about I'm not gonna word it exactly right, so we're just gonna go with the feeling of it,
For it.
where it's like if there what's in the heart comes out of the mouth, and so there's some of that with the darkness coming out of his mouth and the opportunity for darkness to enter her, but she is able to keep it out, because she's strong enough, and it moves on. There's some of that happening, maybe.
I can
That's
see
cool.
that.
Yeah, that's
So
a cool
like the
thought.
corruption is
Oh,
go ahead.
no, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say the corruption is related to like the speaking, like that's fair.
Mhm.
And also, even if she had her mouth open, like it was my impression that she like took it onto herself and then channeled it back into the dagger instead of letting it stay. So whether it tried to get into her nostrils or not, her final act was to siphon it all out of herself back into the dagger.
And she's pulling from the left and directing it into the right. Don't know if you guys noticed that.
No.
I did. I was paying attention. My thing was that it was trying to find another host, is what I saw.
Absolutely.
It went attached to her, tried to, but she kept her mouth shut, and then she pushed it off, and it had to go back into the dagger.
Yeah.
And then Lan covered it without touching it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wrapped it up.
Speaking has nothing to do with being infested with a creature of the Dark One. Fizzlegig, this is not a creature of the Dark One. In fact, this is a entirely different form of evil that I'm not going to spoil, other than the fact that don't forget that it came from Shatter Logoth, and the story that Lan told about Shatter Logoth and how the humans sort of ruined everything for themselves. Let's put it that way, with their greed. So in that sense, in the sense that it's a more human evil, it could be related more to speaking and whatever
Morality.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So that's still of the Dark One, still a creature of the dark. I mean, sure, but it is different than like a Trolloc.
It's not because we actually see that power clash against the Dark One's power later on. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but yeah. So it's 2 separate things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could say probably related because they're both evil.
Yeah, they're evil,
but different, I think.
Evil but different.
Evil but different.
But different.
Yes.
Different kinds of evil.
I like this.
They're Aja, but
Love it.
different. Nausea,
But
but
different.
Also, it's not the same as the creature in the ways, Fizzle Gig. I'm sorry I keep correcting you.
That's
But
a whole different. That's a third different creature.
yeah,
Oh.
there's a lot of different evils in the
Can't
Wheel
wait.
of Time. And yeah, I
We're
guess
getting to
maybe.
spoilers now, right now.
Well, right. So again,
Mhm.
true. We'll see what's in the ways next episode, and that's it.
We hope.
Whoops.
Moving
We
on.
see what's in the ways next episode.
Moving on. Sorry
It's really
about that.
dark in
Yeah.
here. We may not see shit.
My bad.
We're gonna totally see it.
My bad. Your Witcher
I have
inner
no
fan
doubt.
has to say evil is evil. I get it, Nimrithrill. They all have similar vibes. And honestly, like whenever I was talking about one, I called it the name of the other. So we make this. They're very similar. Don't get me wrong. And the imagery is kind of a hard thing to ignore too. Like a lot of times it's a blackness, whatever. So it's that's a fair thing to mess up. So yeah, what a scene, right? And then another, once again, I have to pull up Rand because literally him in the scene is hilarious to me. Look at that poor baby face. Like, he's so concerned, so confused. Like, he doesn't know what's going on.
Wool-headed sheep herder.
He's a wool-headed sheep herder. We love him. We love
That's exactly what that image is.
That's exactly bad.
but I mean, that lighting is great
confused.
for him. Like, good for him.
Yeah.
He looks lovely. So then, all right, we got to keep the plot rolling. We
Do you
have
our midstream pause, or are we going to go on to the next?
well, we're not done yet in the Light's Blessing.
Okay.
Once we leave the Light's Blessing,
I wasn't
we'll
sure.
do a little. We've got a special advertising break that hopefully you guys will enjoy. But anyway, so Nynaeve shows back up, and Moraine's like, I thought your title was wisdom, right? She basically lays the hammer down on Nynaeve. So I wanted to ask Erin, how do you feel about the dynamic of Nynaeve with Aes Sedai generally, but like also especially Moiraine, because that's what came up in this scene.
So I think they tried to explain her hatred and distrust of the Aes Sedai in the first episode, where she talks about what happened with the first wisdom. I feel like we're going to get more there. Like that's not completely what happened, maybe. But so they gleaned
Interesting.
background on why Nynaeve is acting this way, because it does seem like her hatred towards Moiraine is a little bit out of the blue at times.
Yeah.
And it also seems to be just a distrust of people she doesn't know in general at times.
I think that. I
Interesting.
think you're picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah. She's loudly throwing it down.
Right.
Very loud.
Cranked up the bass, she's cruising through the neighborhood.
Yeah. So no, it's sometimes I just want to be like, Nynaeve, chill. It's probably fine. But that's part of her character is this backstory.
I think we've all probably at some point, whether reading the books or watching the show, thought to ourselves, Nynaeve, chill. Like,
Yeah.
That's completely fair. So I would ask also if you're throwing out book spoilers in the comments to please at least flag them and say like spoilers, and then if you can remember what book it's from. So
Read the comments, Erin.
so people can bypass anything that's coming out. I'm just seeing a few spoilers that I don't like want people to read if they don't want to be spoiled. That's all.
I called one out on YouTube earlier. We have a full spoiler section at the end of the show.
Yes, we do have a full spoiler section at the end of the show. All right, so yeah, Nynaeve gets her ass handed to her by Moiraine in this. Like, thought your title was wisdom. Start using some bitch. Sorry, that's not what she said, but it basically was.
Yes.
That's what happened.
It basically was. Which I feel like in the books we got snarky Moiraine a little bit. You know, like she could cut you down pretty easily. But I feel like it's like ramped up just slightly in the show. I just love how like sly she is all the time. I don't know. Are you guys getting that? Like Winespring?
My gosh, yes. Yeah, this whole scene where she just slices Nynaeve in half.
Yeah.
I would almost rather have her yelling and cursing and hitting me than to hear words like that she used. Yeah, I would rather be bloody than to ever have those words said to me.
I think it's the equivalent of I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. You know, like that's basically what she said to her.
That disappointment out of here.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Tavern, would you agree that Moraine's a little different in the show, but it's like in
So
a fun way?
Yeah, this whole episode this entire episode, Moiraine was bringing down the verbal beatdowns.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire
Finally.
episode.
Gosh.
And
Yes.
I was like, it's like she was winning all the Yamama joke competitions. It was like no joke. She was just smacking people left and right. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So I guess I missed this before, but I did want to pull this one up. So like Moiraine also, and I guess this kind of transitions into, oh, actually, well, no, this also relates to what just happened. Moiraine is all over the place. Just like she's got her spy masters everywhere. She like knows everything. She's playing 3-dimensional chess. You know what I mean? And I feel like this scene where she's taking tea in a tea shop that's right across from the hotel that they're staying at was so perfect. Like, and I think this was our first cup of tea, right? In the whole, in the season. But yeah. So tea comes, I mean, like tea is like the thing that they drink in the book. So I thought it was a fun little thing that she was at a tea house. Whatever. Maybe I'm being a major nerd right now.
I thought Stepan brought Karini a cup of tea in the tent. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, either way, tea.
I mean, we do have Lan drinking some tea that was important too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's a really
I don't know
good
if we can
point.
forget that tea.
That's a really good.
We don't talk about that tea. We don't spill that tea at all.
It was important tea.
All right, hold on. So now this is fun, guys. All right, so we're sort of about halfway through the stream, and I asked my co-hosts to put together some advertisements for you because they both have some really cool stuff going on other than the Wheel and Chill show. Other than the Wheel and Chill show, which is what we're watching now, which happens every Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, on my YouTube and Twitch. But Tavern makes merch, and it's awesome merch, and it's on Redbubble, and he made an advertisement for you of his merch, and I am actually drinking out of one of those things right now. This is my Watt Talk mug. Isn't it cute? Yeah. I have I have a sweatshirt, I have a t-shirt, and I have a tank top actually, so I kind of ran the
Oh my
gamut on that.
goodness.
I know, it's like, so my t-shirt's
I'm so
blue,
behind.
odd job,
I'm going
whatever.
shopping.
You should go shopping.
Yeah.
Winespring is an incredibly talented cook, and she has a website dedicated to recipes based off of the Wheel of Time, which is such a cool idea, and I love it. And Tavern has actually made at least one of those recipes and can vouch that they're really good.
And delicious.
Really delicious. So winespringcafe.com, but you'll find that out here in just a moment because I'm going to play these awesome advertisements and you're going to get to see them. So hold,
right now.
stand by because I need to pick the right thing to click. Let's see. Wait, second monitor. Okay, here we go. My bad. One sec. There it is.
Good job.
Okay. One more time. I almost had it. And play.
Are you tired of having mash in our mouth because all of your friends have Wheel of Time merch and you don't? Well, guess what? I've got you covered. Check out all of these. Wow, did you see that design? That design is so hot. Oh my God, my girlfriend got me that. She'd be getting a new car. Oh my, I love that one. Hey, maybe my boyfriend will give me that design. These things are so good. Holy cow, I wish I'd have gotten that for Christmas. That's all I'm saying. Tavern Designs. You can find us on Redbubble.
Okay. Tavern Tavern Designs. You can find them on Redbubble. Sorry about that audio issue. There's always something. Am I right? There's always something. Okay. So, I hope you liked it. I hope you've been inspired. What an excellent Christmas idea, you know?
Yes.
So, and a pillow. Krager's pointing out the Pillow Friend Comforter. I think that one is particularly inspired. I completely agree with you,
yes.
Krager. All right, so now we've got Winespring's little advertisement. So again, please excuse me if I mess something up, but let's do this.
Do you like the Wheel of Time? Do you eat food? Why not both? It's winespringcafe.com. Think about honey cakes. Think about trolley balls. And so much more. Go there now.
I say go there.
That was awesome. I loved it.
sauce. The muffin spike is my favorite part.
Krager really likes the muffin yeet as well.
Oh,
Nynaeve
God,
was
that
worried
was
you wouldn't have
amazing.
honey cakes, but then was very excited when you did. So I think
Oh.
you covered all your bases there. So you know,
Okay.
these are the people that are my co-hosts, and I'm very proud of them. So, really, I'm very proud of them. Good job. I guess I didn't create an advertisement for myself, but I am slowly but surely coming up on 10,000 followers on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok yet, get on TikTok and then follow me, because that would be great if I could get to 10,000 by like the end of the year. That's like kind of my goal.
Amazing.
And I'm gonna do. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm gonna do a giveaway on my TikTok. Once I hit the 10,000 mark, but I haven't done anything yet. But you'll be ahead of the game if you follow me between now and then. So yeah. Anyways,
That's exciting.
yeah. Back to sorry. I guess
Giveaways.
that was a word from our sponsors, and now we'll get back to the actual.
The letters O and P.
Oh my gosh. Fork root Newtons. We're getting some
Fruit Newtons. There you
food
go,
name
one
ideas. Trollic balls.
Send them my way, you guys. Come
Misty
on.
Mountain
Oysters.
That's kind of terrifying. But okay. I mean, I know where you're going with that, and apparently they're
God.
tasty. But all right. So we talked about Moiraine. I think that was great. I'm so happy you guys made those. I really appreciate
That was
it.
fun. I had a good
It
time.
was, yeah, it was fun.
I had a good editor too. The meme board helped me with that.
Oh, a little shout out to the
Of course, need a little shout out.
We yeah, if you didn't see our stream from last week, he was our guest. So check out the VOD. All right, so next, we've got Moiraine. We've got Moiraine taking clandestine meetings in baths, no less. Here we go. Wait, this is Moraine's second on-screen bath. Erin, how does that make you feel?
The bathing?
Did you like the scene? Like, I don't know.
I really like the scene. There
Let's
is
talk about bathing.
There's a lot of bathing in the show. Generally, it's always Moiraine. But it's a very pretty bath. It looks nice. It looks relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
You get the feeling like this is something special that the eye said I get. So yes, so I like this scene. I like the scheming. You don't really get in the first episodes that no, Moraine's been doing this for 20 years. She has a full plan. She's kind of in charge here. So yeah, so I liked that generally in this scene.
Yeah.
Did you say Moraine's kind of in charge here?
Yeah, she seems to be
I like
in
that.
charge of finding the Dragon Reborn. Like,
Yeah.
of all the Aes Sedai, that's really her job.
Yeah, her purpose. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Aja is all about their causes. What can we say? What
Mhm.
can we say? So I don't know. Did you guys have any other takeaways from that one, or can we move on to her meeting up with Egwene and Perrin?
The only other thing I wanted to point out was the dead drop from the yellows.
Oh, oh yeah. Did you have a picture of that?
No, I didn't
No.
actually get a picture of that because I figured we could just talk about it.
Absolutely.
She
It was
picked
an
up the
herb of
towel.
some sort.
Yeah, it was a yellow flower or something. As soon as she picked it up, it
Flower.
fell out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. We keep hearing about the eyes and ears and stuff. They keep mentioning in every episode. Erin, are you? It's not that hard to grasp. So I'm just saying, is it something that you've been focusing on when they say eyes and ears? Has it intrigued you at all, or no?
No, I don't know. Does it have something to do with the flower? Because when that herb or whatever it fell out, they focused on it, but I had no idea what it meant, in all honesty.
Okay.
Cool. So it's
Okay,
kind of
so-
intriguing. Kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that it's some connection to the eyes and ears now, but no, I had not picked up on it. I had not noticed.
That's fair.
Ooh,
Maybe that was a
cool.
little,
That's cool.
yeah, it's a little Easter egg / eventually
Mhm.
you probably notice, like, whenever you pan to the Yellow Sister hideout or the Yellow Sister area where they were taking care of Perrin and Egwene, there were flowers everywhere. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, that
Greenery
clearly-
everywhere.
That probably came from them. Also because yellows don't really use like herbs because they just heal, but that's Alice, before we move on from the bath, actually this is a really good point, and thank you for your first time chat. Tay plays games, but
Nice.
they say, I love the diverse body representation in the bathing scene, not sexualized at all, just people getting clean. And I totally agree with that. And I think people got pissed in the first episode where Lan and Moiraine were in the bath together. They were like, why do they have to make it to where they're like seeing each other naked? This seems so sexual. And I was like, did it look I mean, maybe it,
Yeah,
it was a
they're-
little steamy at first. Like they like played with the idea, like they're
Yeah.
grinning at each other, but then it was literally nothing happened. And like people can just bathe and they can just get clean, and that can be that. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think these bathing scenes are refreshing in the sense that I guess somebody also I saw on Twitter, and this might be wrong. Somebody said that there's a topless woman in that bath scene. I completely didn't even notice.
Yeah, there were actually, there was several, but it was
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't really matter. Yeah,
literally, they clearly weren't flaunting it, which I think is the point. It wasn't like
they were just doing their thing. Yeah,
it's just here's a bath.
Yeah, bathhouses aren't like unheard of, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
kind of
mean,
normal,
I
right?
think you're right. It is, and it's nice that like not in Game of Thrones, which Erin pointed out. Like if you go into a bar, half the time it's actually a brothel, and there's a bunch of naked women everywhere. Like we did see apparently some naked women this episode, but they weren't like walking at the very front of the screen with their themselves on full display for like, and we're not zooming in on that shit because it doesn't matter.
they
to
were
the
in the
plot.
background like they were supposed to be. It wasn't part of the. Yeah,
Exactly. So I
Well, it's
agree.
just a non-thing.
It was just a non-thing.
You
It's
know?
like we're in a bath.
Just a non-thing.
So
yeah.
I think that was a really good point.
Yay.
Tay plays games.
Yeah.
Excellent thing to point out that I should have pointed out, but I'm glad you did.
Here, real quick, somebody's saying something in YouTube chat that I don't think I caught. This says the bird feather was eyes and ears message of man in North Harbor. I don't know what bird feather they're referring to. I didn't see that.
Yeah, me either.
Bird
That doesn't-
feather.
I don't know. Anyway, Agenor, if you could just put in chat what you mean by that, and then we'll come back
Yeah, I
to
don't
it.
remember
I
a
was
bird
just
feather.
curious.
Also just something to put a little pin in for maybe the spoiler discussion, but Megan did mention ships disappearing in the west. So we've got something happening off screen that we can get excited
What
for
could it be?
later. All right, so something that actually happened.
Metrolic ball.
They're delicious.
So
I'm
delicious.
curious about those.
Yeah, what are those? What are those made of? Actually, I'm really curious.
It's breakfast sausage, like Bisquick and cheese.
You didn't hunt
Just
trollops
all-
down yourself?
That sounds so
Delicious.
good.
It does sound
Yeah.
really good.
Woo, man, that sounds real good.
Everything
Delicious.
she has on that site looks and
Yeah.
sounds delicious.
There's so many fun, easy stuff coming too.
Oh.
Wait, we don't need to focus on that
Let's
right
go.
now.
Moving on,
Everybody already
moving on.
knows about it.
Okay,
Everybody
okay.
knows
So,
about
all right.
winespringcafe.com.
Everybody knows. So we've got Moiraine talking to Egwene. We're gonna keep this ball rolling. We've got Moiraine talking to Egwene. Egwene proudly gives her the rings from all the sisters, and I thought this was a really sweet moment. Because you could tell in the previous episodes that Moiraine was like really not happy about Valda and the fact that he had them, and she told him, or I guess under her breath, like, I'll remember your face too. You know what I mean? She hates
Damn right
him.
she did.
She hates
Yes.
him like the rest of us
Woo!
hate him. And so the fact that Egwene got the rings back was like a nice touch, I think, and how proud she was.
Oh, her pride was just like swelling through the screen. It was beautiful to see that. Yeah.
Poor baby Perrin.
Just sleeping the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, he's
Like,
out.
is he like, what's going on? Why is he,
Well,
Well,
why is
he
he
think
sleeping
about
so
it.
hard right there?
just got healed.
He just got healed. Yeah.
Remember in the books, like getting healed, it'll
The-
take it out
the
of
bigger
you.
the bigger the heal, the more it takes it out of you. Yep.
Mine's really like, okay,
I
fine.
was thinking maybe something else, but we'll wait until spoiler time. But okay.
Okay.
You thought they had sexy time?
What?
Oh,
I'm just
In
kidding.
what?
I did not.
That came from out of literally nowhere.
Did you say sexy time?
I think
It's
so.
sexy time.
I
Yeah.
think so. All right, so Erin, I guess I'm wondering if you're getting the impression, and I feel like they're laying this one on pretty thick, so I imagine you are, that Egwene kind of like really admires Moiraine. How do you feel
Yeah.
about the dynamic of like Egwene with like Moiraine and the Aes Sedai? I guess Moraine's, I think, the only one that's...
It goes with Egwene's character. Egwene likes powerful women. She likes, she likes to know more. She likes women that have knowledge, and she likes to hang out with them and learn more. So I think it totally goes with her character, and I like watching her you know, her pride in doing these things for Moiraine. So yeah, no, I definitely got that feeling.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of Nynaeve. She was off there hating Moiraine and the Ice and died.
And Egwene's over here like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna rat Perrin out here. First of all, he's talking to wolves. You know what I mean? Like, I love how she
didn't hesitate.
Yeah, no. She's like, oh, thank God Moraine's here. I have to tell you about this. Like, I guess you would think that Perrin might want to keep it a secret, but Egwene was just like, doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell on you.
To be a teacher's pet, but that's fine.
You know
Yeah,
what?
huge,
You're
huge
right.
teacher's pet vibes.
She is my favorite character, and I'm gonna be honest. That's kind of like me, you know. I'm also a bit of a teacher. My mom was a teacher, and so like, one of my least favorite things in life is when a teacher asks a question and no one raises their hand, because my mom is a teacher, and I don't want to put them through that. So I'm always the one that's like, you know what I mean? And so the fact that Egwene is like that makes me like her even more.
We learn so much about
Every
you.
episode.
Every single
I know.
time.
I disclose so many things on the show. So
It's awesome.
if you want to know more about me, just watch the Wheel and Chill show every Monday at 7:30 Central. Okay. All right. So this was all of that in this episode was great. We had a good time so far. But my favorite scene from this episode is next. Right. Okay. So leading up to it, we've got Lan and Moiraine vibing in Moraine's study. Moraine's in this random like oversized dressing gown thing, and we're all like, well, I think book readers were like, oh, I'm sensing you know, there's something in the air. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all knew what was about to happen.
For sure.
Erin, what did you think was going on in this scene?
Well, because Lan says say hi to her, and because she's wearing what is basically a nightgown that is unbuttoned except for one button, I figured she's going to see someone maybe slightly sexual. I don't know. It was clear that she was just wearing the nightgown with the one button. If it wasn't, I was like, either this is ceremonial or there's a reason that this is an easy access nightgown. So
Easy access nightgown.
Did you say ceremonial?
yeah, like maybe she was going to go do some sort of ceremony behind the scenes. That was my or else
I think she was.
Or was at all. And I was confused because the warders, I never read the books. I didn't know if they were like supposed to be like together with the Aes Sedai or not. I get the feeling some of them are and some of them aren't.
Yeah.
You're on
You
point
got
with
the
that,
right
yeah.
feeling.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
A question: Did you have? You said that there might be something happening with the easy access nightgown. Did you have any thoughts on who it might be?
I did not. I did not know who her was.
Ooh.
That was surprising. But then it went back around to the overreaction in the ceremony room, and I was like, "Oh yes, okay, good. I like this."
So, but I assume you definitely thought it was not Leandrin. Wouldn't
No,
that be
not
something?
the Leandrin. I would be like, by the way, that would be a total character turn.
Wow, they're really sneaky. So we got this thing, which I think a lot of people a lot of book readers were like, wait, how did she do that? You know, like so was your impression, Erin, that this was like this painting was how she managed it, or did you just get the vibe that she did some magic and transported herself somewhere else?
I thought it had something to do with the paintings. She kind of spins it around or covers it.
Mm-hmm.
Closes it.
And she closed it. Yeah.
Closes the door.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Mhm.
that was like the way a bookshelf would work in a secret room. That was like trigger
Mm.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's
for
really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Good. That's what they were going for. Like the show extras or whatever say that this is what's called a terre angreal, which is a object of magical power that has a certain function. And I think in this case, because you later in Siuan's study see one that matches the style but has a different painting on it. So I think they have, and I really wanted to, on my next rewatch, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. My suspicion is that there's a third one, and that one's like the destination. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, like,
It's a mirror in the background, right?
is it in the shack or whatever? Perfect.
I think so.
So yeah, everyone's like, this is so OP. If they can just transport wherever they want, why don't they bring the painting with them everywhere and they could just transport places? Why didn't they transport to the eye of the world? Literally, you have no idea how many TikTok comments I've gotten about this thing. And I was like, I'm
Great
sure.
questions, guys. Great questions.
No, you're really. But in my mind, I was like,
Chalik ball.
there's probably a destination Terra Grial that's got to be in the place that they're going. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get there. And if you wanted to use it, you'd have to take it to the place you wanted to go. So, anyways. This is cool. I like the concept. I first thought that maybe it was transporting them to like a dream shard. I think that would still be a kind of a really cool concept, which is like sort of like a dream world, Erin. I don't really have to explain much more than other than that they're basically in a dream, but they're fully, you can like touch things, feel things, whatever. But I think the show is saying that it's actually to a real place. So either way, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then we've got Nightgown Siuan and Moiraine. Yeah, what a nice little place. There it is, right there.
Is that the mirror in the back?
That's it right there. Okay.
Is it though?
Yeah, no, it's the same shape, 100%. That's got to be
That's it.
So, all right,
Cool.
so
And I think it's a mirror.
or a blurry painting, but it might be a mirror. Yeah. So
Really, it's hard to tell because of the lighting.
either way, I'm happy that they have a destination one, which explains why they can't just transport wherever they want, whenever they want. So all the haters can shut the hell up. I'm kidding. Please, nobody clip that.
Let them know.
Like I just,
A lot of compact in the middle of the wilderness. Oh, I'm coming.
yeah, right.
I do notice that Moiraine pulls from the right instead of the left when she's weaving to use it. And then she like uses her left hand and pulls it down before it just like turns into light, and then she's just kind of there. They don't really show her like walking into the light. It's almost like it washes over her.
That's
I
neat.
thought it was
Little
really
Carol Ann.
beautiful.
Also, Erin, is a little backstory. Winespring likes hand stuff. She
I love watching the hand
she
stuff.
focuses on their
Love
hand.
hand stuff.
I love it.
In case you hadn't picked that one up. No, it's not exactly the same one though, but the one in French Nerd, good way to point it out. The one in Swan's study is also not the same one as in Moraine's place. So I think there's like, there are two that lead to the one, and they're all different. That's my guess. And,
Yeah.
Maybe more than two.
and there could be
So-
more than two.
We don't know.
The thing that I noticed about the Moiraine and Swans, because I didn't notice the one in here. So that's Swan's image looks like the river from her childhood. Right? It's like almost like a painting of the river. And I was looking at Moraine's, and it's almost like older version of her, and the carvings in the painting are very square and linear around the archway, which reminds me of Carrie.
Oh yeah, I
So
think it's
I-
her and Carian,
Yes.
like Palace and Carian.
Either her
100%.
or
Yeah.
her mother, maybe, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely from her. They both have paintings from their past inside of, which is kind of cool.
I want to point this out in the chat because you guys are right. Sith Master, Nimhi Thrill, we've got some Magicians fans. And Winespring, if you haven't watched the Magicians show, which I know is available on Hulu because I watched it recently
Lots of
because I
hand
like
stuff.
there's lots of hand
I
stuff.
only watch things on Amazon.
Oh,
so.
oh. Okay.
Just kidding.
All of us actually only watch Amazon shows.
Yeah,
Um,
That's it.
Yeah, I didn't just last night tweet about Succession. Definitely not.
Is there another channel? Is there another station or service? I don't know.
I don't think that exists.
All
But
right.
no. Oh, you know what? I think it is also on Netflix. I think you're right. It's on Netflix too. But but we don't watch Netflix either, so I don't know why that matters.
Oh.
But
Oh, yeah.
the magicians, to do magic, they have to do these like insane hand motions. So you might like that, Winespring. Anyways, we
I
can move
would
on.
like that actually. I will check that out. Thank you.
So this scene was, I don't know, just like an extremely exciting thing, I think, for a lot of people. Obviously, probably equally as upsetting for some other people. I've seen both in many of my comments coming to the forefront. But what did it, like, you guys probably all know, because I've, like, talked about it extensively on my YouTube and on my TikTok. Like, this was really exciting for me. I love to see the representation, like, you don't always see it, especially in fantasy, and so the fact that it was there was great. I love seeing that in fantasy. Winespring, did it like evoke the same kind of emotion in you?
Yes.
Hell yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry, I
Absolutely.
didn't want to put you on the spot, but I just I keep talking about it, and I need somebody else to talk about it.
I mean, it's so great, and at the same time, it's like, can we just not have to talk about it? I mean, not that I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about
No,
it.
I
I just
get
wish
it.
there was just so much more of it, you know, like that
Where
it's
it
not a
wasn't a
thing
big
to have
deal.
to talk about.
I agree.
Yeah, but no, I love it. I love seeing these two powerful women be powerful together and vulnerable together. And I think it's a beautiful balance that we see, see them try to live with.
I think that's true.
There is a
And
huge.
it's hot. Like, I mean, you can't deny that they are not extremely attractive women, obviously. And the close in, the zoom up is so intimate, and not like pornographic. It is
Yeah,
very beautiful. And that, like, more sexual scenes like that, I could get behind for sure.
Yes, please. Tavern, were you
Yeah,
saying
please.
something?
Yeah, there's some theories going on about their relationship on the Totterdom, in the Totterdom, I should say. One, I agree completely. Extremely sensual without being pornographic in any way, shape, or form. Highly erotic. It was an amazing scene. The theories revolve around, since this is a different telling of the wheel, right? Is I think what the consensus
An
of people.
adaptation.
Adaptation. But lately, I've been seeing people say it's a different telling of, or of the whatever.
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson has said, like, because this is all cyclical and, like, the same people face the same dilemmas in different ages, like, that, like, this is just a different turning.
Telling,
It's
yeah.
a different
Yeah,
turning.
or turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning. So the theory is that they're married. Okay. And
Already at this point right
yeah,
now.
at this
they're
point,
married.
the
Okay.
theory is that they're married at this point, and they. I don't think this is really a spoiler. It's just talking about a different culture in the world, which are the sea folk. Right?
Yep.
So they think that they've had a sea folk marriage because of the fact that Siuan was in charge in public, but as soon as we see them in private, that whole dynamic twisted around, and Moiraine was in charge.
I thought the same thing. I literally
So
I
yeah,
thought
that's
the
the
same
theory
thing.
that's going on.
Although,
What makes you
I
think
would be amazing.
Moraine's in charge?
that was going to be my second thing. I agree. I think just because Moiraine said
I don't
on
yeah.
your knees like once, that doesn't to me mean she's in charge. But
No,
think
it's
she
just
knows
the
how to play.
posturing. I think it was
Yeah.
the posturing in the scene where, and again, this is not my theory. I'm just kind of, how I listen to things and I bring it forth in here. There was the comment of, on your knees. Then later on, we see where Moiraine is sitting up and Siuan is laying down next to her. So yes, she could just be pensive, but some people might take that as, just the posture being in control of the situation. Depending on how you look at it. To me, the other thing was that when they first met, they were both wearing white, almost like they were in accepted dresses, and maybe it gave them equal footing, so that one wouldn't be above the other, which kind of kills the whole other theory that I just talked about that people are throwing around. But you see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just interesting. A very interesting dynamic between the two of them in public versus in private. It's really cool.
It is. And I guess we haven't asked yet. Aaron, did seeing this in the fantasy show surprise you? Refresh you? What did it do for you? Anything?
It made sense to me. You've got, they aren't on equal footing, but you have Moiraine, who's our main Aes Sedai character, and the head of the Aes Sedai together. To me, it made sense for them to be together and hatch this plan. I wasn't surprised by the same-sex relationship in this. I have liked in the show that you have people of different races and genders. You have people of all different ages. Not everybody's 20. I liked that. This seems. Is this not in the book? I'm guessing their relationship.
It's hinted at, but never. I mean, so they have like a juvenile relationship when they're young. They're like they have this. They're pillow friends. They kiss once on the page, and they sleep in the same bed without anything. Just no. They're basically like cuddling.
Yeah.
As far as we know. And so it was always kind of hinted at, never fully and then later in the main series, they're just besties, basically. They're not in a romantic relationship. And so this is the main series, and they're in a romantic relationship, so it's different in that way. And also, people keep commenting, and I want to point that out, that the "on your knees" was not in the script, which, oh my god, Rosamund Pike.
Yes.
Like, that was one of the best lines in the
girl,
whole episode,
go.
I thought.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, somebody said to me in a comment today on TikTok that Rosamund Pike was the worst actress and killed the entire show for them, and they wouldn't watch it. I immediately deleted that comment.
Lost all legitimacy with that comment.
It was the dumbest crap I've ever
in what
heard.
universe? In what?
I was like, delete.
Universe?
Get out of here.
Yeah. So I love that. We are taking too much time in this, so we gotta. That was probably my favorite scene. I loved it.
So there's one thing though that I did want to talk about that's in the photo that you just had up, where Moiraine is standing and Siuan's on the bed.
Yeah.
And so during that scene, that's where Moiraine makes the very important point that they are questioning the 3,000-year-old text, that has all the prophecies in it, and that they're not just totally buying into that because it's been translated so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And so that they're kind of listening to, what is it, Katara's? Is that the name that they're?
Yeah.
She had like a vision about a baby, I think.
Githara, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna walk real slow through the prophecy that they said.
I think that's all they said.
Heard there.
They heard
Okay,
it.
so that's like all they said.
That's all they said.
And so that's why they're working together.
Yeah.
For the last 20 years, because this was 20 years ago, to find this baby that was born.
Yeah, I think we did get like this scene was very exciting as far as like representation goes, but it also furthered the plot. We found out that Siuan and Moiraine are doing this behind everybody's back, which is kind of obvious after the scene where Moiraine wouldn't say out loud what her mission was. We've got these odd visions from Siuan in her dreams about the Eye of the World and the Dark One being weak there. I maintain that's a trap. Somebody's messing with her dreams.
Yeah.
That's my guess. And then, we got, like, they both witnessed a prophecy related to the Dragon Reborn, and they're not fully buying into the other prophecies and writings and tales about the Dragon Reborn, and that's why they're literally like, it could be anything. I don't want to rule anything out, Winespring, you go ahead. You're about to say something.
Moiraine also says that she's heard like a gleeman singing about a multi-headed dragon, so that could be like multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a really interesting turning of the wheel where they all need to be there instead of, everyone else being sacrificed so the dragon could live, the one could live, maybe they all need to be there.
Don't say
somehow,
that. You're going to make
for
some
some
people
reason.
mad.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right now that five-headed dragon thing is a D&D reference to Tiamat, and I'm sure people's heads exploded when that line came out.
I've seen Tiamat all over Twitter after that, but and you're right,
It's insane.
and I think even if the dragon isn't 5 people combined, it's still, in a way, like that Gleeman's tale could be right in the sense that everyone is necessary, which I think is true to the books. So
Yeah, and they're like talking about how they're willing to sacrifice. I think Moiraine even says that she would kill them herself.
Yeah.
yes,
Like the people that get in the way.
such a
That
hard
is so
ass.
different, like than
The whole,
like other prophecies where like the one sacrifices for the many. Now we're talking about the many sacrificing for the one.
there's so many things happening in that little conversation. You see, like Kritter said, Moiraine and Siuan are working together behind everybody's back. They just had the thing in the hall where the blue said that's that's blue business, basically showing that the Aja stick together. But here you have Moiraine. Shortly after this conversation, she says, "Oh, you're going to have to exile me."
Yeah.
Working behind her own Aja's back, who wanted her to stay in the tower. She's, "Listen, I got shit to do. You're going to have to exile me." So there's a lot of strings being pulled left and right.
And Moiraine pulling the strings is so fun to watch.
Yeah, and like they said, well, what happens to the ones that aren't the dragon? They're literally okay with taking whoever to die if they find the right one. No qualms. Well, I mean, they've been doing it for 20 years. People have been complaining that, oh, the story revolves around Moiraine. I don't see why it wouldn't at this point, because this is her life's work.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that we're following her right now.
Yeah. Erin, are you reading Moiraine? Well, you said that Rand is the obvious main character to you. are you reading Moiraine as like another main character or nah?
Yeah, I mean, the last episode was about her,
Right.
but so I guess she would be the second if you thought about it. At this point, she is the second main character, which makes sense because at this point you are still in the beginning stages. The others haven't done much yet, but she's been working on this for 20 years, so it makes more sense. And what's going on with the politics of the Aes Sedai,
Yeah.
and then later we can get more of the others' stories.
Yeah. Speaking of politics with the Aes Sedai, who is Leandrin hiding? I feel like at the end of a Pokemon episode, who's Leandrin hiding?
This scene
and
was
where's
one of
Moiraine
the
going
best
next?
This was one of the
Yeah,
best
really.
slap down scenes ever.
Yeah.
I love seeing Moiraine act that way.
I do too.
It's just
I do too.
She just like her spine went up and she went at Leandrin. It was great.
It's like, oh, you
But
think
the
you've got
faces-
me?
the faces that Moiraine throws out whenever Leandrin shows up. She's like,
Literally, I make the same face, honestly.
she's like, I'm so goddamn done with this.
All right, so then we had a little scene with Egwene, Moiraine in the hall of the tower, which was sweet,
Yes.
nice, funny. How Egwene was like, doesn't that get confusing between the Amerlin seat because that's the title and the chair? Which-
Great question.
It's a really great, like I think we were all wondering it. And then we got they got reunited, which was so fun. Nynaeve and Egwene. I feel like of everyone, I don't know. Do they feel like the best friends of the friends? You know what I mean? I feel like they seemed so close when they were in the Two Rivers.
I don't know if they're the best friends of the friends. I think that the boys are really close.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving each other money. They're keeping track of Matt gambling
true.
too much.
It's true.
Matt picks up on Rand's issue with Egwene. Then he picks up on Perrin carrying Layla out first. They're very in tune with each other, and I think Egwene and Nynaeve are the same way. But you have to remember the Two Rivers is kind of you have husbands and wives, but you have the women's circle, and then you have the council, or the village council, and it's very male and female.
Mm-hmm.
So the women would be hanging out with the women, the men would be hanging out with the men. But I wouldn't say they're the best of friends out of the entire group. I think they're on equal terms.
As with
equal
the
footing.
boys. That makes sense. That does make sense. I do think like Nynaeve's story about how Egwene is like unbreakable, the last episode, how she sat with her during her fever. Krager pointed it out in the chat. Sith Master pointed out that Nynaeve was protecting Egwene during the Trolloc attack. I feel like she's got this older sister thing where the boys are all kind of like each other's peers, and like Matt's the scamp, but they're all still sort of peers. I feel like Nynaeve is like like Egwene's older sister. Erin, I'm curious, what's your favorite dynamic? Like, what's your favorite relationship in the show so far?
I don't know. I do like the Egwene and Nynaeve relationship. It was especially poignant in this episode because she got the story about how she saved her life. She held her when she was, about to break her bones. So I did like that. That made their reuniting poignant. But I've liked Rand and Rand protecting Matt as they've traveled.
I love Rand and Matt.
Around the
I do too, yeah.
Rat. I love Rat.
Wow. Don't even stop.
Well,
So
better than man. Better than man.
I don't know.
Far.
Sorry, Erin, keep going.
No. I think those are my too far. But if we want to talk about Rat, I think that's his nickname. That's Angelina. That works.
Love her.
Rat.
She's
Okay. Well, Rat, we
Should I
should
just mention before we move on too quick from this part,
bring it on.
like what Nynaeve and Lan are talking about when they walk in is why they're my favorite, I think, duo. Because Nynaeve is saying, she says, if you can't lead the world from a room built of wood and dirt, how can you call yourself a leader? Is what she's saying as she walks in with Lan.
Yeah.
And that just shows me the quality of conversation that her and Lan are having with each other.
That's a good point.
Like, like I love seeing that mutual respect and leaders almost like having a conversation and challenging each other. It was what that statement seems to me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's almost like the issue that people have with like evangelical churches, right? The big mega churches. You can't preach from a hut. So why are you preaching from this giant mansion kind of thing? Which is what I was saying earlier about the Amberlin almost being like a pope. She's in this giant tower.
Yeah.
And they lead the world. Why are they leading it from here? They can lead it from, So yeah.
And the further
cool.
away you get from that tower, what happens to her power? It's
Exactly.
weaker and weaker. It becomes a joke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least according to Logain. Whether that's true or not, that could have just been him spitballing.
I mean, he did have a lot of people following him.
You're right.
He did.
Made true points.
I forgot to bring something up during the hut scene.
Okay.
I just mentioned it real quick.
Bring it
I'll be
on.
fast.
No.
Damn it.
Go. Okay.
So the Flame of Tarvalon, which I talked to you about this, was the title of the episode. And I brought this up, this idea that I had, and I'm sure other people have had it, but I was talking to Kritter about this, is that the Amerlin seat is Tarvalon. She is it. She said it. These towns are mine from Tyr to the Two Rivers. City's mine. I am the Amerlin seat. This city is mine. The Amerlin seat is the embodiment of Tarvalon. Moiraine is her lover, which would make her flame.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they meant to do that or if I'm just reading too much into it, but the Flame of Tarvalon brought in double meaning to me.
So many meanings. I like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so that was it. That was all I was saying.
Boom.
Speaking of Swan,
Perfect.
bam, new outfit. Very cute study.
Yeah.
We've got the painting in the background, and you're right, it is like a river, which is kind of her hometown. And yet, I feel like we got super formal Swan, like dressed down Swan, and then now like vibing Swan, in her study, like just doing her own thing.
It's a cool dress, by the way.
It is a cool dress. Yeah, she
Excellent costume design on this one.
seriously, it's insane. And so this scene really put, if it wasn't already in people's minds, the difference between Nynaeve and Egwene when it comes to their attitudes about the tower, right? They're talking about, well, first of all, I loved the most powerful channeler we've ever seen, and Egwene's all like, and then she says Nynaeve, and Egwene's like, oh my god, it's not me, oh my gosh. So love that.
Yeah, I'm the teacher.
Because that's the first time she's heard, obviously, that Nynaeve can channel.
Yeah.
But
Like, that's got to be a bit surprising.
You would think they've said it before that. Moiraine told her, "Don't listen to the wind listens to you." If Nynaeve could do it, why wouldn't you jump to that conclusion?
I mean, she may know. She just might have thought she was the most powerful channeler, Like, she didn't hear about Nynaeve's Super Saiyan healing bomb like everybody else did. Sith Master also mentioned the line, which I loved, the Amerlin seat only waits for one woman, and she's not you, which...
That was the best line.
Yes.
Loved it. And I guess all the looks that Moiraine was giving Swan in this scene, like this photo's not a great example of it, but it was just like she was like grinning slyly, like she totally, I don't know.
She looked like she just respects her a lot.
Yeah.
Like she likes hearing her speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's like seeing her, her
In
love
her element,
in
was
her
just
element.
like, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I'm into it. I think it's great. But yeah, it's like, and then so basically Nynaeve's like, stop blowing smoke up our ass after Swan was kind of doing that. And then she gets serious like that. And she's basically pitching them, and Egwene's like fully buying in, and Nynaeve's like, fuck off. Shit, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically the vibe, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd usually try to
This
avoid...
is another one of those Egwene moments that I super love, like that they're giving us. Is that, let's see, who says it? Swan says the only thing that matters is what you do. And Egwene, like the next thing she says is, so what do we need to do?
Yeah.
I love it. I
Let's do
love those
this.
moments with Egwene. Like that just shows her personality, the trajectory of her character. There's a
goes right-
need. What do we need to do? Here I come.
Yeah.
It goes back to what Erin said, though, about Teacher's Pet, right? Where the moment she realized she wasn't big, the number one in the room, when she said Nynaeve was the most powerful, and then she goes, what do we, depends on what you're doing or what you do, and she says, what do we need to do? It's like she shot her hand up.
It's not at all the vibe I got.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Nah.
You know,
Not even
listen,
close
I
to a
don't
teacher
hate-
pet view.
I don't hate Egwene. I don't. You guys know that. I just think that Erin hit it on the nose with teacher's pet.
I think
Teacher's pet for sure. In the other scene, I agree.
in the
Not
other
this
scene,
one.
She's also
agreed.
used to being.
Yeah.
What, Aaron?
I think she's also used to being special. You get the feeling like back in the Two Rivers. I mean, Rand loved her, but she had to choose whether she was going to be the next.
She's like the hot girl in Two Rivers. Yeah.
Two Rivers. She's used to being special, so she wants to be the special one, which is fine. But yeah, no, I liked the way.
I think
I liked that the way that they both continued to act according to their characters.
Mhm.
Two Rivers 10, but a Tarvalon 8.
Hey, you bite your tongue.
I like how you only went to an 8. Any lower, you'd be in so much trouble.
Yeah, literally.
I'm not stupid. I'm not
8's like too low.
It is
for
too
her,
low.
but
10 out of 10. No
we'll
matter
not
what.
fight over it.
All right, so guys, we're lingering.
Moving on, moving
here.
on.
Okay, so we are to the trial scene. We all knew what was going to happen because Moiraine told Siuan what needed to happen.
Yeah, she did.
We get this intimate kiss that nobody really knew what was going on except for everyone who had seen the last scene, basically.
Yeah.
Kissing the ring. This is a concept that happens in the books a lot. And then they busted out the oath rod. So I guess my first question is, Erin, was this something you were prepared for based on things that they had talked about in previous episodes? Like, did you get what was going on? Did you like what was going on? What were your takeaways from this?
Well, I knew I knew what was going to happen. She was going to get exiled. I knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The oath rod, I was like, I guess this is part of making it look more real. I didn't understand that. I didn't know what the oath rod was. I hadn't been paying too much attention to the rings, but I figured it was just part of the ceremony of it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So some people are like, wow, they used the oath rod for this. That's such a stretch. They only use it for the 3 oaths, which is not true later in the books, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that this made it seem more harsh, more official, more like once again them trying to avoid detection, I guess. And in this picture in particular for me, I pulled because Siuan reached her finger out and rested it on Moraine's hand super discreetly, but also you could tell it was to comfort her. And I don't know, I thought the scene was fabulous. Winespring, what were your what stood out to you from this scene?
So it was shortly after this moment, I think, happened. I started weeping because I was like, oh my God, are we watching them get secret married right now? It just made immediate sense to me that is what was happening, that there was a union happening. And then really focusing on the words that Siuan is saying and then what Moiraine is actually saying back. It just, for me, confirmed it. They were in a sense, coming together somehow with this oath rod in a meaningful way for them. Yeah.
I felt that too. I actually didn't think it in the moment. In the moment, I was like, oh my God, they're breaking up. No, not breaking up. They have to separate again. She has to leave. That's what they're sad about, right? And then I kept seeing that online. This is she swore to Siuan Sanche, daughter of the river, whatever, all that beautiful, it read like a wedding vow in hindsight. 100%.
And the intensity of their faces, also really, for me, just showed the love that they have for one another.
I totally agree with that. Also, I meant to mention this earlier and I forgot, but God, I want Maureen's earring so bad. I'm sorry, that's completely random, but I love it. But
oh yes,
I'm gonna disappoint you.
Cool.
I think that's painted on.
I could paint that on. I'll paint it on
Paint
myself.
it on. I looked at that thing because that's cool. It almost looked like a dragon, but on closer inspection, it just looks like they painted her ear and it makes it look like an earring. But either way, it looks amazing.
It does look really cool. And I didn't think about
it's very delicate. The paint would make a lot of sense.
It would make a lot of sense.
I think I spoke to Winespring about this. When Siuan asked her to her vow on the Amaryllis seat, to obey the Amaryllis seat, and Moiraine turns around and says, I vow to obey, or Siuan Sanche, and she goes through her whole thing. That was actually, even though we heard it loud, I think that was whispered because nobody in the hall heard that. And then right after, the voices picked up. So I thought that was
It was
really
a very
cool.
private moment.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. And again, yeah, it was almost like a wedding vow. The fact that they did it in public. I also like the way that the magic of the oath rod traveled from Swan down the rod to Moiraine, and it almost looked like it was going into her heart.
Yeah, I put a photo in there. Actually, you can see the weaves splitting. Yeah.
It was really cool. It was almost like the first thing that came to mind when I started seeing it was the unbreakable curse from Harry Potter, right? Because the weaves are going from one hand and wrapping around the other. But then again, this took it to a whole nother level. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is cool. It does look like they're going to her heart. I like it. I like it. So to keep the stream moving, even though I do think the scene is incredibly powerful, like I was getting a little misty myself.
It's time.
We gotta where are we?
Better go quick, y'all.
Everybody turns their back on Moiraine. She leaves. Sad. Everything is sad. Okay.
Just like Matt split.
Everything is sad.
Everything is sad. Then we get to the Waygate, right? They're like, I'm exiled now, so I guess we gotta go to the Waygate. Matt smiles for the first time in God knows how long, which was nice to see, but also not so nice to see because it seems apparent that this is probably Barney Harris's last episode.
He's happy to get out of there. What? Why are you smiling?
No, it's just like, you hear in the books about Matt's grin. He's got this winning grin, and then like Erin does. I don't know if you know this, but this actor was recast for season 2, and there's like mystery surrounding it. We don't know why. And so a lot of people are saying essentially that the reason he stayed behind here, because that did not happen in the books, was because he left after episode 6. So, knowing that, like, are you gonna miss this actor? Did you like him this season?
I did. I liked that he was kind of the funny one at times. Giving you some levity, giving you some back and forth kind of sarcasm. Just his ambivalence on what's happening to them.
Yeah.
So I did like his character, and I was surprised when he just stayed there.
Yeah.
Going back home. Is this about his sisters? Is that his driving force? So I thought I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I think it left a lot of questions for people again because it didn't happen in the books, and my internal explanation is basically just, they had to make it work if that was when Barney left, right? And so my guess is we're gonna get something related to the dagger, like maybe he's not completely cleansed, and so he's maybe he's seeking out the dagger, and that's going to be how they play that, which is a concept that would go along with book lore, even if it's like in a sort of a different order. So that's my guess. I don't know. Tavern, do you have any thoughts about this?
Just speculations. One, I also thought that it might have something to do with the dagger and that he wasn't completely healed. And that maybe there was a conversation between him and Moiraine that we didn't see, where she basically told him to stay behind.
Yeah.
Even though they let the horses go, who better to leave behind but the guy that knows the horses? Those horses,
And Lan and Moiraine were not yelling for him to come. Nope. They were not super surprised he wasn't coming either.
They weren't. Yeah. Or maybe it has to do with what we know is in the ways, and Moiraine was like, it's probably best if he doesn't come in here.
Could be.
Yeah, there's
that's a good point.
There's a lot of different things. I mean, now I know, without spoilers, I don't think this is spoilers. In the books, we know that Matt spent a lot of time at Avalon recovering from the dagger ordeal. He was away from everybody during that time. That kind of lends itself. I mean, so far they've stuck to the core of the books for the most part.
Yeah.
And there was a time where Matt was not with the group, so I don't know if that's how they're playing. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
There's too many directions to go in.
Yeah. We do know the showrunner read all the books, so like we're doing right now, where we're like piecing together like and making sense out of this choice that he made that seems slightly out of character, like there's a way to make it work, even if it was caused because of an external factor like Barney leaving. So
Got it.
we'll see. Also, a lot of people are
We
mad.
believe in you, Rafe
We
Judkins.
believe in you, Rafe. You've got this.
We believe in you.
But
The power of Judkins.
something else, I feel like this is probably the last thing we should talk about because we're running over our 2-hour usual goal here. Is people are mad that you open the Wait Gate with the 1 power.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why this is.
Listen, I'm
So how did you open it in the books?
with an Avendasora leaf that was attached to the door.
A leaf, right? So we have a Trinity symbol that shows up, and that's the 3, right,
Reload,
coming
yep.
together.
Pulling it up.
So that represents 3 things coming together as one. I put an image in there, and it actually shows, I believe, 1 weave coming from the left and 2 from the right, I think. That could be opposite.
Oh, no,
so we
the
have
3,
3
yeah.
becoming 1. That's a good image, but there's one before that also that shows it. So you have
she's got a different one, yeah.
but that's okay. I think people will get the idea of it. But so if you look up, just general information about this symbol, you realize that those little points, they're actually called leaves. So she actually took 3 leaves and put them in place. She brought them together into one symbol, the Trinity symbol, and then it opened. So, I mean, there's still leaves coming together to open it, but
Krager,
maybe a stretch.
I've got a highlighted message from Krager. Yes, it makes Loyal worthless. I don't think it does. They have to have Loyal to
No.
navigate
No.
the ways. Like, anybody can pull an Avendasora leaf off of a door. Nobody can, other than the Ogier, can navigate the ways without something else going on. You know what I mean? So I think Loyal is absolutely vital to this operation, even if they didn't say it out loud this episode. They did go have a meeting with him or whatever, and he's there.
Hope we see more of that meeting.
Yeah, right. And he's there, so it's clear that they needed him for something. And yeah, they're gonna need him to navigate the ways.
Oh yeah, so I know we're trying to wrap up. So Erin, you mentioned earlier about Moiraine kind of looking like the leader here. So there's another shot of Moiraine I put in there, which I don't know if we have time to show, but the weaves here from the other side actually are like a star around her. And a star like the North Star, the guiding star, they lead the way, so there's kind of that whole
That one?
symbolism there with her. I like that they showed us both sides of what the weave looks like on her.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm not even gonna get into okay. I hate the gateway or the way gate. I hate it. I'm not gonna get into it.
I mean, a lot of people do.
Oh,
So
love it. I love it. It looks so like
Anyways.
statuesque.
so we're not gonna get into it, I guess. And I assume
Portal stone. It's a friggin' portal stone.
I guess
That's
here's
it.
the deal, though. Erin didn't read the books. Erin, did anything that happened with the ways bother you?
There you go.
Just listen. Did someone erect that there for a reason? Like, what is it? I didn't know what they were or what they did. It didn't throw.
Yeah.
Figured, okay, this is a portal to somewhere. And this is what portals look like, and maybe they're in random places. I didn't think about it too much.
And this, my friends, is the way. Like, I feel,
Yeah.
and
Just don't think about it too much.
no pun intended, but like, yeah, this the show isn't. So I approach the show as someone who's read the books many, many times, with the attitude, it is based on my favorite book series. I really want to like this. So far, I do like it,
Agreed.
and so things like this, I'm like, is it gonna matter to anybody who doesn't know everything that I know? And if the answer is no, and if it doesn't mess with the plot at all, then I'm like, I don't care. And so I don't know. And this might again put me in the category of corporate shill, but like, there are so many, like, the colored weaves. There are people that are still sad that the weaves don't have color, and I'm kind of like, I mean, they still do magic, so who cares? Like, I don't know. That's it. That's me off getting on my soapbox for a second, but
I agree with you 100%. I love the show. I understand what they're doing in the show. To me, it's an aesthetic thing. It's not going to detract me from watching the show in any way, shape, or form. I've accepted all of the changes, but I can literally say, yeah, I don't like that in rock. those two rocks. I'm not a big fan of the two rocks. It's
Seriously?
just-
I think they're cool looking. I don't know.
I do.
I mean, if they were said, okay, these are portal stones, I'd have been super happy because okay,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So
I need earrings. I want like one post on either side.
Well,
it's like
stop
a
talking
Waygate,
to you.
You know,
No, I'm just
right?
kidding.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm gonna
No,
walk
you
around
have
with a
it. You have
Waygate
it.
on my head.
You have every right to be disappointed with certain imagery. We all like what we like. I'm not saying you shouldn't have feelings. I'm just saying this is how I'm approaching the show, and it's allowing me to have a really good time. So if you're on the fence and you're like, oh, I'm not enjoying it because it's a little bit different, or because
That's crazy.
Some people have said it's completely different, which is also crazy. Just like open-minded a little bit, you know what I mean? Just look at it with an open
Yeah.
mind.
Hope you get to enjoy the rest of it.
Right. Literally, like, have fun. Try to have fun.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Okay, so we blew past the 9:30 mark. But
Yeah.
that's fine. Thank you, Erin, for being here with us, and for just a hot
Yeah.
minute. I'm
Thank you, Erin.
gonna put up a spoiler flag to see if anybody has any last second spoilery thoughts. So if you haven't read all of the books, Erin has already agreed to be in this segment, even though she hasn't read all of the books. If you haven't read all the books, get out of here. We're gonna talk about spoilers. Think about anything you want to say, and we're only gonna do this for like 5 minutes before we sign off. So, book spoilers. Get out of here. Okay?
None.
Okay. Bye.
The ways.
Yeah, no, they should be gone now. I told them to leave. They should be gone. What about the
Get outta
ways?
here.
Just how they look.
I'm not upset about them. I'm curious as to what they do because in the books, you know how they say that when you first go into the ways, there's that section that you have to follow before you get to the first platform. Right? So I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Then it gets different. I totally, I told somebody earlier that it would be very boring if they actually put the ways on screen because the ways in the books
Black.
are emptiness. There's nothing there. So that would suck. So I see where they've added texture to it, and I'm pretty okay. I'm okay with that. I like the inside of the ways better than I like the outside. The ways. How's
Okay.
that?
Noted.
There you go.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
That's the TARDIS. It's the TARDIS.
Oh my god, I totally thought the TARDIS too when you said that.
Done.
Okay, is that it? Do we have any other spoiler thoughts? We've got somebody in the chat. Gateway. Matt's fight with a golem. There's no one power to open it. He needs to open it alone for his secret plan to work. What do you mean? That somebody opened the gateway for him. Like it was a one power gateway that was used. Sorry, I was trying to process that comment. Trollocs traveling in the ways means a Forsaken or a Dreadlord, so somebody else who could channel. There are dark friends who can channel. Like we don't claim them, but the Black Aja, dark friends channel. I know they're not real. We're in the spoiler section, okay?
I know we are.
We are in the spoiler section.
I
Cover your
also
ears, Aaron. Cover your ears.
I also think
I know.
I also think that there's another way. I imagine, my guess, there's going to be other ways to open the ways. This might be the one that Loyal remembers, because apparently a lot of knowledge has been lost. There could be a leaf that, like, maybe this one's locked because it's close to the White Tower. There's so many explanations for this that, like, you could just come up with to fix any problem. That's just telling stories. I mean, do you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's possible that each waygate. I mean, I don't know if they'd make them different, but it'd be interesting.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm.
Based on the
I'd be down
region.
for that.
French Nerd actually said that maybe the way to open it depends on the gateway. Could be. The one by Tarvalon requires the one power because it's a bunch of Aes Sedai. Who knows? Like,
Perfect.
Who
And
knows?
if you put the two sides together, it kind of looks like a White Tower.
Yep.
Just throwing shit out there. Just ignore
For
me.
sure.
You and your commentary.
I'm just saying.
For sure.
Color commentary.
It does.
All right, so that's all the spoilers I can think of, really. I don't think we need to really talk about anything else. So I guess how about we just do last words, shall we? Because yeah, let's do this. So my last words, I already gave my piece. I think everyone should just try to have an open mind when they watch the show. So far I have, and I'm freaking loving it. Episode 6, amazing, super fun, really excited about episode 7. It looks like we're possibly gonna get, without saying more, the Blood Snow.
No.
And I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be super epic. And okay, real quick, I'm going to throw up the spoilers thing one more time. French Nerd says Leandrin's mystery man might be Padden Fane. I love that theory. Okay, we're putting it down again.
Oh,
theory.
great theory.
I think it's really cool.
Thank you for sharing that.
But
Yes.
wouldn't Moiraine know who that is? She saw him in the Two Rivers.
She might not know. She might not have personally seen him. Think about her eyes and ears.
It's true.
So,
It's true. Okay. Yep.
and that would explain if Fane follows them, how he got through the ways. Because if Leandrin is helping him out, did her little thing in the gateway, and then bam.
That is true.
Leandrin would never do that.
No,
Never.
she's a sweetheart.
Never. I did have a spoiler thing put up. All right, so
Yeah,
that was my 2 cents to end the stream. Tavern, how about you? What's your little final words?
My final words. Licorice? No, I'm just kidding. Go to winespringcafe.com. Go check out those recipes. They're freaking delicious. The meatless lasagna is the one that I made, and I fell in love with it. I will be making it again. There's my final words.
Wow, awesome. Winespring,
I
what
love
about
your
you?
final words. I would also like you to go to winespringcafe.com and make my meatless lasagna. It is very good. I agree with Tavern. But yeah, episode 6 was phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what they do in episode 7 to pull it together and to see what happens with Matt. I am officially intrigued with what is going to happen with Matt. I have no idea. So yay.
Same. Okay, Erin, give us some final
I've
words.
really enjoyed the last 2 hours, so thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens when they go through that wave gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This eye of the world I've been hearing so much about.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I know, and
Be
that's
awesome.
I guess just since you mentioned it, and I forgot to mention this when we were talking about Siuan and Moiraine,
Yeah.
but they're implying that that's where the Dark One is imprisoned, which is different from the books.
Yeah, totally different.
So wondering if that's real or if that's another thing that's been passed down and misinterpreted, or something else. So I guess it's the watch and find out, right? That's the concept. So I love that. Erin, we loved having you on. You are the first person I've really interviewed like extensively after the first 3 episodes about the series, and it seems like you're having a decent time watching, huh? And you're not just saying that because I'm here.
Because you forced her to watch it.
That's what I watched because you told me to. But no, now I've gotten into it. It's a good show.
Yay.
Awesome. Yes.
Nice. There's the soundbite we were looking for. Okay, I'll call Amazon right after this. No.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you again for being on this fabulous Tavern Winespring. Always a pleasure. And don't forget to come back next week after episode 7, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, The Wheel and Chill Show. We're here every week. Once again, thank you so much.